I'm losing my way. You've gotten to me, and that's my mistake. Some might say I can't get too far without seeing your face. Oh. You gave me your heart and took it away. I'm going underground, going underground. Say your loving comes around, going underground, going underground. 'Cause your love is not around anymore. Going underground,
Good evening everybody and welcome to Octane Online Racing Simrigs Sprint Series. This is the finals. We are officially in finals week for the first time in about 3 or 4 seasons that Octane Online Racing is back with an official finals series. The points are back to 0. The drivers in the Pro-Am class and in the Pro class will be competing for outright glory in these coming 3 weeks, 3-round series. I am joined by Alexis Bowen and Neil Alexander. How are we, people?
I am doing fantastic, JP. It is wonderful to be here for finals. We've made it at last.
Yep, g'day guys. It's great to have my voice back, and it's great to see you all in chat, and obviously to listen to you, Alexis and Sean. It is fantastic.
Yeah, really looking forward to it. And of course, round 1 is at the classic Donington Park. I don't know if you're aware of this, but it's at an airfield, I think. Just like the rest of Britain. So for tonight, we do have the Pro-Am finals. But first, we have a little support race here. Just a 45-minute race, if I'm not mistaken, in GT3 class for some of the drivers who didn't make finals, or perhaps those who want to practice a little bit for tomorrow. And then we move on to Pro-Am finals, where we have a 70-minute race with a mandatory pit stop, but drivers do not have to change tires. So certainly some interesting strategic elements coming into the races tonight.
Very much so. We could see a few drivers sneakily put full fuel in their cars and just stop in the box and get going again. Or you may have drivers find that it's worth it to have that tire change and gain a bit more pace later on because of it.
Yeah, a little bit of a spatter into the works there with that setup. Something a little bit different. I don't think we've done a race for quite some time without a mandatory tyre change. A mandatory pit stop without tyres changing. So that will be interesting, and it looks like the grid here very close up the pointy end, so it should be a nice little fun race here.
As we see Benjamin Hignett there in pole position, and Jack Steele here still on a lap, so potentially could move forward. Doesn't have to find all that much time to move up into the top 3. But yes, some of the big names already in the split, so that just shows you the quality of the drivers that we will be seeing in the Pro-Am class and the Pro class tomorrow. Certainly some high quality drivers, and I'm sure we'll... I don't know, Alexis, you have to choose what strategy would you run for tomorrow, or for today as well.
I'd probably go for not quite filling it up all the way. I'd probably go your tires right to the end of the race and just put a little bit of fuel in there, just a nice quick pit stop so you can hold that track position, because I don't think it's going to be that easy to overtake here at Donington.
Yeah, overtaking and Donington are not necessarily words that are often used in the same sentence. But it seems as though Jack Steele did manage to sneak up onto that top three there. So we have Benjamin Hignett, Patrick Oliver, Jack Steele, Chris Murphy, Benjamin Piper, Jay Brown, who I do not know the first name of, Kilby, Fleming, Barlon, and Nagel as your top 10 for Split Lime here, the support event for Pro-Am Finals.
I'm glad you worked out who CM was, because I had no idea.
Well, luckily he's part of our team, so I've seen him in the server quite a few times. Otherwise, I would have been confused as well.
Doesn't like his last name, or just likes letters, or what?
I think he likes to be efficient, so CM
Efficient,
just narrows it down. Yeah.
Well, he's nearly efficient. He's in P4. It's going to start nicely there. It's good to see Reynolds and Blair at the back of the grid. I'm pretty sure
where
Reynolds...
they belong. I mean,
where they belong?
It should be interesting to see. I mean, it's a track with a fairly... I know we don't like mentioning BOP, but it's actually a track with a fairly decent BOP. Not a huge spread in terms of fastest car to slowest car. Mercedes, M4, Porsche, some of the fastest cars here, and then the rest of the cars are all within a 10 for 2 of each other, so definitely should make for some good racing overall.
Yeah, nice balanced track, of course. At the end of the day, it will come down to what you prefer driving personally, and as you can see at the top you have Mercedes, few Aston Martins as you'd expect, the BMW, a Nissan P5 with Benjamin Piper. That's nicely done. So yeah, a good mix of cars in here tonight.
Who's your pick? Who's going to win?
It's very hard not to put your money on Benjamin Hignett. I mean, we know how fast he is, and he showed that by qualifying on pole. It's a bit of a safe call, but yeah, I can't really look past Hignett for this one.
If you want a slightly less safe call, I reckon you might see a surprise from Benny Piper there in P5 in the Nissan.
The brick to take the win. That's a brave call, I would say.
I think we're in for an exciting affair here. It's
G'day, Raggy.
Get Merc there.
G'day, chat. Pat Oliver, P2, man is a machine. Now he's just got to back it up on the race.
Yeah, he needs to hold some consistency in the race, make sure he can consolidate that P2 position. If he can, he could be a threat for this win here.
It's good to see a dry track. Is that the consensus after the weekend?
I think so.
No, I think
I couldn't care less. I'm sitting up here. This is fantastic.
Look, I'm glad that I'm not driving tonight, so I don't care what weather it is, but I think most drivers would be happy to see some sunshine.
Congrats on the top 5, by the way, JP.
Yeah, thank you very much. It was good fun. Long day.
Was it longer because of the weather changes? Was that make it longer?
Yeah.
You have to think the whole time, don't you?
Yeah, it was nigh on impossible to get the strategy 100% right most of the time. So yeah, we made a couple of well, some might say brave, I would in retrospect say stupid calls, where we did 6 laps on an optimum track on wet tires. So pro tip for those out there, 39 psi tires do not work very well. So there you go, there's your pro tip for the day.
Yeah, it was certainly a interesting race to drive in. I mean, we had our own issues with drive-throughs, a few interesting choices with the tires, but yeah, it was definitely a long one because of the rain. Like, it just felt like 10 minutes felt like it was 10 hours almost. Felt like it was just going forever. Thinking you had to be so careful on the throttle and the brake and everything. You had to be very aware of what was going on.
The Bollard has not even made it through the pace lap, so that's good to see.
Yeah, sitting up being broadcaster for Imola, it was I don't think I've seen a race like that before. I've seen a few races where I've had varying conditions, but not 30 little minute pockets of windows, which is not quite a stint, and I think all teams did pretty well to negotiate that, and hopefully we can negotiate turn 1 here at Donington just as well.
think I made the comparison between Imola's weather and Melbourne.
Well, you're taking it away?
I'll take it away. Save us the trouble in Pro-Am as we wait for the green lights. We are away. Nice little start. 3 wide, just about 20 minutes back from this, the leaders. Hopefully they negotiate this nicely. This is a fun race. The stewards are on a bit of a break for this one, so we don't want to have to intervene directly, as that bollard says, and murders a pedestrian, a spectator. RIP there. RIP to that car that went sideways, but good save. That's Jake Brown. Right behind him.
Speaking of Brown,
Oh, there's Stats. A couple of, bit of disaster at the back there. 97, that is Paul Kranich. He's in the pits. That's it. He's done. He's had enough. Jeff Beaton, P21. He was also caught up in that standard British track stuff with the grass. But overall, Jack Steele P3. The front 3 haven't changed. Piper's moved up a position. Chris M actually might have moved down a couple. Did he start P3 or P4?
He started P4.
Okay, well, it's not too bad, Chris. You can recover from that. I'm not a huge fan of the Melbourne hairpin. I prefer the national layout. I'm not sure if anyone else feels similar towards that, but I just don't like these little few. I just don't think it adds much. What's your thoughts on it?
I think the only thing it adds is the only legitimate overtaking opportunity on the track. So
valid point.
Even then, I'd even argue with that, because it's so easy to go deep there that the yellow driver can just switch back to the inside. Oh, that's close.
Tell you what,
we had Barrelon just lose it on the grass on the outside.
how
Brown
good a save was that
back
from
out of it.
Brown?
that
Oh, yeah.
was pretty good. Pretty good reactions all around there. Ooh, there he comes inside there. After old hairpin gets a big old slide on, but yeah, I don't know. The hairpins they're very frustrating. The last 2 corners, especially for me driving the Aston, as we all know, acceleration is not its strongest suit, so it just feels so sluggish coming out of there. But saying that, I do love the feeling of getting the proper chicane, getting it right. I know it only happens once every 211 laps, but it is a very nice chicane when you get it right.
Very much so.
That's the chicane where the bollard was absolutely yeeted, the tyres.
Yes, as they go through there, that's the ideal line, the esports line over the sand there.
The yellow flag in the background, 717. That is actually it's ahead. That's Pat Oliver.
And
Jake Steele.
Jack Steele as well. So they may have had coming together.
That's our P2 and P3 drivers now falling further down the order, so that means it is Kignitz with a solid lead over Benny Piper and then Mr. Chris M.
Why is Patrick Oliver Hungarian?
Is he Hungarian or is he Bulgarian? That's.
Oh,
I'm pretty sure that's Bulgarian.
Bulgaria,
ooh, gee,
I think Hungary has Hungary has the green on the top, I think.
Yep, I think it's slightly different. I think that is Bulgaria.
Just flexed my actual pointless knowledge that I have.
It's nice knowing flags.
I don't know why I've always been interested in them.
It's fascinating. There used to be a game on Facebook ages ago, like I'm talking 12 years ago. I think it was called it's similar to GeoGuessr kind of thing. I think it was GeoQuiz or something, where you had to guess flags and you had to guess like waypoints on a map and stuff like that. It was such a fun game as well.
I think I've seen that. Now with this race, we do have 45 minutes. The Pro-Am Finals is a 70-minute race, but they do have the same settings, meaning they do have to serve a mandatory stop for fuel. So with this one, you're taking one later, aren't you?
Yeah, surely. You're not doing a lot with this one.
Yeah, 45 minutes. Donington is a little switch back there from Jake Brown. Manages to sneak it up the inside. Great little overtake there by Jake Brown on barrel, or great defense at least. And he manages to stay. No, was that an overtake? I don't know. anyway, welcome to the excellent commentary here. But yeah, in a 45-minute race, I don't think the tyre wear is enough to really have a noticeable drop-off. Saying that, Hignett is already in the pits. We get a replay here of Mr. Steele and Patrick Oliver into the hip, and Steele just a little bit too tight.
Yeah, just a little clumsy there from Steele, unfortunately, and he's picked up, 10-second penalty for that.
It's a strange one. He had plenty of time to pull that car up. Maybe the downhill aspect of that hairpin added to it.
Such an easy corner to go deep, as Alexis said earlier.
Well,
Brake half a meter late.
Oh yes. That's the trouble with trying to make a move there.
Ashton Reynolds already up into P12 after starting from the back, so it's a pretty good opening salvo from him in the Ferrari there, saying that he moves up into P11 potentially. I swear.
P11 sounds great.
Are
you doing the Chris Murphy
exactly.
law of oh, that's
Oh, that was
Look,
interesting choice of rejoin there.
I
from
think
Cook.
his heart and mind were in the right place there for that rejoin. Get out of the way.
His brain was just on vacation.
It was a good idea, but I think coming across right in front of another driver there, going off into the grass, was a bit interesting, but it ended up working in the end.
A little bit frowned upon, but we'll soldier on. Keep going, Victor. I don't want to give away the strategy for tomorrow, JP, but you going to tell us what you're doing?
I honestly don't know. I'm waiting to watch the pro.
Yeah, I think a lot of people are. I don't even know.
Yeah.
My initial idea was full fuel run bit for a liter at the end. But after having spoken to some other drivers, it seems as though the half-half change tires strategy is the quicker one. But I don't know. I think track position is so important at Donington that sort of is playing with my feelings a little bit in terms of what's the best strat.
So that's what I like about it. That's what we wanted. We don't want like, oh, you're definitely doing this because this is the only way you can actually make it work. If there's a little bit of thought there, then that's half the battle won.
Yeah, that'll definitely make things interesting for the Pro and finals tonight and the Pro finals tomorrow, having that unpredictability about what drivers may go. So, because you might have some further down the order try and reduce their pit stop time as much as possible for that track position. You might have drivers further up who think they're just that little bit quicker, go for that choice of taking the tyres, or who knows.
Out of the three finals rounds, which one are you most looking forward to? Donington, Hungary, or Barcelona?
Personally, Hungary. It's one of my favourite tracks.
That's a good answer, correct answer.
Yeah, I think I'm in agreement, although tonight and tomorrow night are going to be a very interesting affair. I mean, as long as the answer isn't Barcelona, I think you got the right answer.
Yeah, I mean, there's no right answer, but there's definitely a wrong answer. I do love Donington. It's a great track, but it's very, I mean, to be fair, Hungary to a certain extent as well, very, very tricky to overtake. Although Donington is a little less forgiving than Hungary is, not quite as wide. So, but yeah, I would definitely say Hungary and then Donington, and then the walk I'm going to take around the block, and then Barcelona.
Yep, I am in 100% agreement with you, JP.
Now, obviously, if Barcelona had the new layout, that would be one of my favourite tracks, I reckon. But it's just an interest. But the thing again, it's very good BOP wise.
It is a very good BOP track.
Everyone sucks at it.
but yeah, that I just despise the chicane. That the chicane in that final sector just ruins everything that the track has to offer for me.
Yep.
Yeah, it's not only the chicane, it's actually that corner before the chicane as well. That's just that whole little, as you said, the final sector. I don't know. The first sector is good, I would say. Not great, but the second sector is nice, and then sort of up turn 9 up into the back straight, that's fine. But then from there on out, it's kind of average to caca. Ooh, Reynolds goes very wide there and manages to not die, but does lose 3 positions.
impressive save as well. Other thing
Yeah,
with Barcelona has actually had 2 updates since with the one we've got it on this version of the game. Whereas that hairpin, I think that's changed now for the F1s. I don't think we have that in this. And obviously
still
the
the old
final
one, yeah.
chicane is... we haven't even seen that yet, so I am looking forward to that very much. The F1s.
And Kunos also still has not adjusted the pit lane at Paul Ricard.
No, I believe that they need to pay for a brand new license to get the changed circuits with their contract. So I can see why they haven't bothered with Paul Ricard, because it's just a pit update. I don't know how much a license costs. That's going to be a touch.
Little tappity tap, but he manages to keep going there.
But yeah, I'd like to see updated Barca. What other tracks in game have updates that we don't have?
Zandvoort
and Spa.
Spa, of course. Zandvoort's banking and Spa's Rouge.
And not Puhan, sorry. Corner before Puhan, no name. That's all.
Yeah, no name is slightly adjusted.
That's very true.
And the sand trap on the exit of turn 1. Quite a few updates actually at Spa.
Yeah.
So Spa, you can lock that in as being one of them.
Well, it's been confirmed that it's not in the update, so it's unfortunate.
Well, that's the stream done, see you all.
Yep. Have a good night, everybody.
Yeah, looking really forward to 1.9. We've got a few updates in OOR to release and add, so we're going to do relatively at the same time. That's that's 2 cars in one go. What's the chances of that?
Oh, poor
4
Mike
runs. Ashland Reynolds.
Oh my God.
Mike Crick, what are you doing there, Mike? Get out of the way. Sorry.
I'm trying to crash here. What are you doing?
Oh, that's just really unfortunate there, Mike.
Yeah.
Jesus, if Mike Crick didn't have any luck, it would. What was that? I mean.
I think I've had a similar incident like that happen to me before. I think a few weeks ago in F2 at Portimao, I ended up spinning off track, and then someone spun off the track at the same time, and as I was trying to get back on the track, they ended up hitting me. So, like, it happens, but it's very crappy when it does.
Yeah, I mean, can't really put blame on anybody there, unfortunately. I mean, Mike Crick was just.
Oh no, there is blame for Mike Crick. Stop Go 30 for being in the way off track.
That's a joke. Anyone that's watching OOR thinking, oh, what's these bullshit penalties? That's a joke, but it's a funny one. I'll be here all week.
It would have been so funny if the stewards actually put one up just without the knowledge of race control.
I think Ashland Reynolds just alt F4'd straight after that spin.
He was having a rough couple of laps there. He had quite a few sort of close calls, and then finally was not able to save one, and yeah, managed to kill Crick in the process as well.
Yep. So don't blame him.
But yeah, I think Mal was mentioning something about some of the updates coming to OOR. If you want to get into some of that as well.
Obviously, there's been a great discussion. As Conan says in chat, game's actual trash now.
I mean, there's never been grip on the grass, Conan.
I'm about to watch that replay back, but as I was saying, great discussion in chat regarding the academy and trying to get that off the ground with a lot more educational tools and data for everyone to be involved with and contribute to. That's going to be a fantastic addition. We've got a bit of an announcement when it comes to the Pro Series, which is going to be a little bit different, and that's currently, I can't talk much more about that at the moment. And obviously with that, with 1.9 update, we've got to release the Sprint Series and the Rookie Series moving forward as well, which might have a little bit of a change. I don't think we'll see finals again. It's just too much stuffing around, and with time zones, we really have tried to accommodate for everybody, but it's just impossible, especially in Asia Pacific when you're talking 6 hours difference between one driver and the next, and you're trying to get them into one split for 90 minutes. It's just not really feasible on a weekday. During series works because you can work with your team and work within your time zone there on a weekend, but yeah, time zones, sim racing can get in the bin.
Yep.
Speaking of time zones, when are the clocks going back eventually?
They
First
go
Sunday
back in
of April?
Yes, that is a week and a half away.
Okay, fantastic. That makes it a little bit easier for us in this part of the world as well.
Happens the same day as the Australian Grand Prix.
Ooh. Some people might miss it.
Because waking up at 5 a.m. for a 12-hour enduro is no
Commitment.
bueno.
It's great. I feel for some of those that do jump in from other regions. You're 4 hours earlier than the server, correct, JP?
Yes, at the moment. So it changes to 3, which makes it a lot more convenient for us.
So there's that 6 hours I'm talking about between you and New Zealand. Massive.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, the thing is, at the moment, so the early race for us in the weekday is at like 4 p.m. So it's quite an awkward time. But if it shifts on a little bit, that's 5 p.m. and the later race is at 6:30 p.m. So a lot more convenient in terms of planning around work and stuff like that as well.
Yep. We're also looking with the Sprint Series rookie times to start all splits half an hour earlier to accommodate for New Zealand a little bit better. That's been a heavily requested time change. Hopefully that we can implement.
There's a lot of New Zealanders. There's 2 of us in Thailand. Is that not more important?
Oh, that's a good point, actually. What time would you like it, JP? I'll just change it for that.
I mean, if you could do 7 p.m. Thailand time, so like 11 p.m. your time, for the early shift, that's fine. That would be perfect, thanks.
Yeah, it might be hard. I'll set up a split. Look, I've had a thought, and it's been a no from the boss. I'd love to, though. I would just wish time zones didn't exist, but Earth is round and there's a sun and all that jazz.
Yeah. What time zone is Thailand actually under?
It's +7 GMT, I think.
Oh yeah, so yeah, it'll be about it'll be a 3-hour difference once daylight savings disappears.
Exactly, which makes everything much better for us in comparison to the timing that you guys have.
Yes. Damn daylight savings.
It is a stupid concept. I mean, nobody wakes up that early anymore. As we get a replay here of Cricky, loses it, like pretty much everybody has at some stage, and he actually keeps it out of the wall, and then Ashlyn Reynolds says, nah, you will get damaged, and eats him.
Just unfortunate.
Yeah, very unfortunate.
It's a bit of a jump scare for Cricky there as well. He definitely didn't see anybody coming, I would say.
For those in chat, what is the worst time that you've participated in the sim race? Mine's easy. I've actually helped host a 24-hour race, and I've done it twice. I'm never doing it again. Up the entire time.
Oof.
Yeah, okay, that sounds rough.
Yep. And one of them was racing on a EU-based server, and we just got abused for 12 hours of the 24 hours. It was an absolute joke.
I think.
Yeah, sorry Alexis, I helped the team with a 24-hour spa race a couple of months ago, and I had to wake up at 5 a.m. on a Sunday morning to do a triple stint and do the stint to change the tires because it was halfway through the race. So that was fun.
Yeah,
I think
fun.
when I was briefly participating in the SRO Endurance Series in the Asia Pacific region, I think the latest I had to stay awake for was about 1 a.m. That's about as bad as it's gotten for me. For the most part, I've stuck with what OOR does, which happens to be at pretty handy times for myself.
Yeah, the times really work for everybody.
Waking up, like I said, waking up at 5 a.m. for Spa or Bathurst leaves a real sour taste in the mouth, I'm going to be honest.
You love that track. What are you on about?
No, I do not. No,
I'll see the posters in your room, mate.
What? We talked about this.
Sorry. Ignore, disregard,
You
chat.
make
delete
the
VOD.
neighbors uncomfortable in the bush. Okay. Anyway, there's some good racing going on, actually,
is.
overall. CM currently leading, but they haven't completed their stops. Hignett making his way back through the field after completing his stop. So, yeah, gonna be an interesting play out. I think Hignett has this pretty much in the bag after the earlier incidents, but between Chris, Murphy, and Mr. Brown and Piper, there should be a nice little battle for P2.
That's a drift. That's a save.
Yeah, nice save there from Scotty Blair. Or should I say Scott Blair?
Scott Blair. I know those guys are looking forward to the update on ACC, and I'm fairly confident in predicting that they're going to use the 296 to start with.
I am quite excited for the 296 myself.
I'm excited for all three, even the Porsche. I'm not a Porsche man. I think it looks pretty aggressive.
Did you see the video today of the
Lambo?
Mustang GT3?
No.
For the Mustang GT3. Oh,
They did a test run at Sebring with the new Mustang GT3, and that thing is the sound. Honestly, it just made uncomfortable things happen.
comfortable things. Care to elaborate, Peach?
I mean, if you want me to say semi-chub on stream, I'll say semi-chub on stream, because that's what happened.
I didn't see the video. I would like to see the video because I would like to see the Ford in this.
It looks and sounds mean as all hell. Once the Mustang GT3 is being properly raced and is in ACC, it is going to be spectacular.
I honestly don't even care if it's fast, just the way it sounds is already enough reason to drive it.
Will it rival the Maserati, Aston Martin V12 and the Lexus?
I mean, if it sounds like it sounds in real life, I don't think any of those cars sound as good as it does.
Nice.
Which is a bold call, I know. But no, just honestly, it sounds like a race car, like a proper freaking race car. Like there's no limitation or anything in there. It's just sounds like some kind of beast from hell.
Probably because it is a beast from hell.
Gonna have to Google it. Conan says after this experience in the fairs, all fairs GT3s can get in the bin. So 296, RIP.
I mean, in fairness, he loves the GTR, so taking his opinion on cars it needs to be like a pinch of salt.
Yeah.
At least.
Not even a pinch, just a singular grain of salt. Although, to be fair, that is coming from someone who has also driven the Nissan a fair amount.
The Lambo. So the new Lambo is apparently not just a basic, from what I've read, whether this is true or not, but it's not just an Evo, it's basically a new homologation on the STO, I think, the new Huracan STO. So it's basically a new car, not just an Evo, from what I understand.
Well, that could make things interesting.
Evo 2. So frustrating. Name was something else.
Evo, the sequel.
Ooh, Dorifteru. Oh, good save there by Major Piper.
He's treating that car like it should be treated.
Yeah, I'm not particularly excited about the new Porsche. The Lambo should be interesting, but that new Ferrari certainly has my interest. I got into ACC with the Ferrari, the original 488, so it'll be interesting to see how good the new one is and how much fun it is to drive.
I'm keen to give both the Ferrari and the Lamborghini a try. The Lamborghini I have fond memories with, picking up my first race win in ACC with it. But yeah, be interesting to see how they sort of drive in comparison to what I've driven before with the current Ferrari and the current Lamborghini. As Mr. Ramett out front has got a drive-through penalty, so that's ruined his race.
Yeah, welcome to Donington, where the track limits are not friendly. Very, very easy to get warnings here, so yep, unfortunate day for Mr. CM.
It's just trying to get a move done on Derek Nagel. He's going to try and find any gap that he can, but Nagel's holding on nicely at the moment. This could allow the likes of Brown and Piper just to close in a touch there within 9 seconds at the moment.
Yeah, Hignet really needs to clean this field as quickly as possible as he gets a good run out of the chicane. Down into the hairpin, up the inside, later on the brakes. Good clean move there, well done by Nagel as well, not to lose out to Gray behind.
Yeah, nicely executed from both drivers there.
See Murphy into the pits, serving his drive-through. He rejoins in P4, provisionally there, right in front of Paulie. JC asking Nagel podium question. I would say it's unlikely, but you never know. Miracles do happen.
Squirty's saying if they buff this in the next update, Burrs is going to win every race for the next year. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'll allow a Nissan update.
Yeah, the Nissan and the Bentley have become dogs as of late. Be nice to see them gain a bit of competitiveness.
I always
again.
love that saying, dog of a car. Like, dogs are great.
Yeah, but they're terrible as cars.
Yes.
Have you ever tried driving a dog?
Have you ever tried driving a cat?
Well, true.
They'd be worse than a dog, wouldn't they? I actually met a wolfhound last night that I could drive.
Hellcat, hello, the Dodge Hellcat.
Okay, any animal.
Are there any cars named after a dog?
That's a great question. I'm going to sit here and think about it for the next hour.
Okay, if everybody can just excuse commentary, we're just going to think for about an hour.
Actually, here's a good question. Will Kitty come back if the Nissan becomes OP?
I don't think Kitty knows where his wheel is. Kitty needs to put his GTR together first in real life.
I miss Kitty. Haven't seen him for a while.
That's pretty funny. Alright, so I've had to think about it. Aston Martin have a Aston Martin Bulldog.
Oh, really?
Yep. I definitely haven't Googled it. No, definitely not. Actually looks like a Bulldog. Ferrari have the Berlinita Boxer. Bedford has the Beagle.
Dog, though.
Bedford has a Beagle. Rover? Rover's not a... That's a dog's name!
Yeah, exactly.
What the fuck's this doing on the list?
There is a cat in Animal Crossing called Rover as well, so... Point is nullified.
There's a Lamborghini Fido. I'm choking, that was a joke. Well, that's what the same thing they're going for.
The Toyota. Oh.
Well, there's a bus called a Greyhound, so can we race that in ACC?
Isn't that like a
That's the
bus
company, isn't it?
transport company?
Oh, wait,
Yeah.
wait.
Yeah, no, I, just
Yeah,
to
but they
get
refer
that,
to the buses as Greyhounds, so I'll allow it. Do we see any out here?
can everybody Google Aston Martin Bulldog, because that's a fascinating looking car.
It is.
That is honestly, if you ask a 7-year-old to draw a car, that's what he's drawing.
Oh my god, what the hell is that?
It's a Bulldog.
It looks like looks like one of the Bugatti EB110s gone wrong.
It looks like it's been run over by a Greyhound bus. It's a DeLorean that's been sent back to the Shadow Realm.
It's a DeLorean that's been inbred, basically, based on how close the eyes are together.
Yeah, there you go, chat. You've got to Google Aston Martin Bulldog. What are those lights? Who thought of that car? I mean, they sell it.
Yeah, but that is so weird.
Wait. There was only one produced. They only ever made one. Fuck knows
Oh my
why.
god, they...
I can just imagine the CEO when he told his designers, "I want you to design the most futuristic car that you can think of," and they showed him that, and he just wanted to sell the company pretty much.
Hold on, so initially a production run of 15 to 25 cars was planned, but the project was deemed too costly and only one was built.
I wonder if it actually still exists.
Well, yeah, I mean, even a scrapper wouldn't want to scrap that. He's like, I don't know. I'm not touching that.
Hey, if you're on the wiki page, click on the photo on the top right under Aston Martin Bulldog, and look at the car in the background. What the hell is that? I need more info on that one than this one. Send help.
I can't see that.
Oh
I'm
my
on the
god, yep.
mobile.
Hold
Can you
on.
see what I mean?
Yeah.
It looks like it has the Vauxhall logo on it, on like the side of it.
This image.
But even then, the Bulldog was fully restored in November of 2021, so it does exist still. And it's actually been, like, restored to its original spec, really.
The one in the background is a Vauxhall. What one?
It doesn't look like any Vauxhall, I know.
That's some kind of concept or
So
something.
this talking
I would
about
imagine.
Has to
dog
be.
cars. We've come up with this bad boy. Well, there's literally only ever one. 5.3 litre Aston Martin twin turbocharged V8 in 1979. Oh, it's. I don't know why it's so expensive.
That's going to be reliable.
Yep, I wonder why it costs them so much now.
That's incredible. SRV concept.
Yep, that's it. That's a fantastic looking car, though. Wow, that's actually. It looks like the sort of a land speed kind of attempting kind of thing. Really beautiful car.
I've learnt more on this broadcast than I've done in about 3 years. What is it? SRV concept?
Yep, from 1970.
Oh my goodness.
Can you imagine how mind-blowing it would have been in 1970 seeing something like that roll down the street?
Yeah, holy shit. That is...
That makes the Bulldog look stupid. Stupider.
I mean, the Bulldog makes the Bulldog look stupid, to be fair.
Look, you've got a point.
Yes, Matt, yes.
Hold on.
And
Wait.
And then go onto the Wikipedia page and look at the image of the SRV. In the background, I think that is the
Oh,
Bulldog.
it's the same photo person. What is this? What have we done?
Yeah, that's the Goodwood Festival of Speed in 2009.
Yeah.
So,
So they've used like the same event for the two cars.
Yeah.
For like the photo.
That's guy only got a 2.3 litre in it.
well, that's probably the biggest engine Vauxhall ever made, really, in freaking Europe.
Yeah. Well, it's probably the biggest engine that they've ever made. It's not as if they've been able to bring engines from the other divisions, but I'm not sure where they'd even be a part of General Motors at that time.
Rav, I think that's a good decision.
Anyways, we've got a race going on here, so our Barrelon's currently out front. He still needs to make a pit stop as Kilby has to make a drive-through penalty work.
So far, Hignett is, 15 seconds ahead of Piper. Piper about 8 seconds ahead of Brown. Jack Steele steals the fastest lap there. Bit of a moment there for Paulie. Coming into the hairpin in the Lambo, and he is under pressure from Zikri. Also on the gamepad. Always fascinates me how good these guys can drive a car on a gamepad. My baboon brain does not comprehend that.
I think a lot of drivers that use controller always have like their thumb on the joystick, like pushing it forward, so they have more fluid steering rather than just like going straight left or straight right.
Yeah, I understand the concept.
Whoa, that was a bit of a loss there for Jacob Fleming.
Moment.
But yeah, you Yeah, the concept you can understand, but it's just in
It's just-
practice.
And the biggest thing for me is the consistency. They're so consistent. I mean,
Yeah,
it's crazy.
yeah, because it's so like finite how little movement can make a big difference. Because there's not a lot of area to work with a little joystick.
Matt, I don't think a SG30 is necessary. Just give him a drive-through. That should put him right on Piper, I think. This drive-through is fairly quick here, so... Oh, big old moment for Paulie again.
Looks like Pat Oliver's disconnected, unfortunately.
That's
Either that,
unfortunate.
or he's very good at typing and driving at the same time.
He's no Samwise Holmes.
That's always baffled me when I was on a server with Samwise and he's lapping and he sends this long message in the chat. I'm like,
Yeah,
"How are you using that?"
exactly. It isn't even a short message, it's like an essay.
He must have some kind of voice. That's the esports line there. Still on the esports line and eventually back on the grey stuff.
Who's that in chat? JW says, can we possibly get an Asia sprint class for those of us located in Asia Pacific? Being 3 or 4 hours behind makes it hard to participate sometimes. How many do you reckon we could get for that split time? Because if it's viable, then I'll do it 100% for you.
I think it's
Well,
gonna
or
be
how
better,
many
so-
how many do we have
You
in
might get it, JP.
the Asia Pacific sprints at the moment?
Oh, well, we had 4 full splits of 40. And that's not with the people that missed out because they couldn't register or the time zone doesn't suit or it's full. And then when it's full and people miss out, they go and race somewhere else for the time being, or they take a break and then people don't turn up anyway and there's someone binded in the pits.
It's just... Oh, barrel on. Is it barrel on? Beaten.
No, it's beaten. Yeah,
He's beaten that car up at the moment.
And that's sign.
get out.
I mean, am I wrong?
Flying Wombat, should have gone with a dog.
Jeez, that is a... That's not gonna buff out.
That's the McLaren Bulldog. That's our new saying. When a car is absolute trash, it's no longer a dog car, it's a Bulldog.
I think that's disrespect to the Aston Martin Bulldog, to be honest.
Good, it needs all the disrespect for its
Did you see it?
$12.6 billion engine it's got in there. But you find it
Only billion.
Oh, I hate to think.
That's right.
This is going to be an interesting battle. They're all very, very close. We have Blair having a look at the inside of Fleming, but Fleming, Blair, and Mr. M are all very, very close.
He'll be able to send it up the inside there. He does. Able to slow it down nicely onto the apex. That's a fantastic move. Will he get the drive out of the hairpin? Certainly does. Great overtake there by Mr. Murphy there.
Yeah.
I could do that, JW, definitely, but what that would mean was drivers would probably have to compromise with us which day of the week they can race, because some will want Wednesday, some will want Thursday, and it just has to be one or the other. And honestly, it's got to be a Thursday based on what other calendars that I've seen. But yeah, happy to do it, especially when we've got a Pro Series coming. We want the Sprint Series accessible. Same with the rookies.
Blair is copying it in TeamSpeak at the moment for being overtaken at the hairpin. So expect a return of serve at some stage.
Just gotta hope he doesn't forget to brake.
There's only 6 minutes left. Still waiting for Hignett to get his drive through there to even out the tank a little bit. I can't imagine the Ferrari would be great through that chicane based on its lack of suspension.
What suspension? Oh, that looks like it could have been a move, but manages to hold off for now, so Jacob Fleming is under a lot of pressure now.
Murphy, one of the rookies who's certainly shown a fair amount of pace, and also just did his first Enduro on the weekend as well. So certainly experiencing everything that ACC has to offer. Thursday is better at 10 p.m. AEST, so that will be 7 p.m. our time basically, which is roughly what I asked for. So yeah, fairly accurate. If all
As long as it works in with how we flow onto each split. Because waiting around to broadcast something when it turns into a long night.
Yeah.
And to be honest, I'm not sure how many sort of SEA region drivers there are. There's quite a few of the Indonesians and Filipinos, but I'd be surprised if it's more than 20.
Yeah. Maybe there's more if there's a certain time for it, but we'll definitely put up a vote. We've got a few things to vote on and feedback on soon, so... G'day, Moots.
A good point from Squid, though, that there could be a few from WA that might want to race in that later split as well. As we see, that's possibly a move around the outside. Can't get done there. Fleming defending nicely.
Like,
that's deep.
Jesus, missed him. Watch
So-
the rejoy.
That was always going to happen.
Hey! What a pinball! CM! Lunchbox Racing turns into pinball. I think he held F4 mid-binning.
Yeah, I think he was tired of pinballing for an extended period there.
Yeah, you're right. WA does fall into that category. They are 3 hours, 2 hours generally behind what we are right now in the Sydney time zone. So that could definitely work for those guys if they would like a later start time, because I think the latest they have at the moment 6:30. So a lot of people being pushed after work to get home and get sorted. But yeah, definitely a few options, because we are going to start early. Is that some kiss? We're just going to run splits for 24/7. Surely you'll be happy. Someone will be happy.
Nah, people will complain.
Splits available 24/7. Oh, but it doesn't suit me. That's all right. We'll have a server based on the moon soon.
Yeah, but only when Venus is in retrograde or something like that. I don't know how that shit works.
Spare a thought for Uranus.
Yeah, it's always behind, isn't it?
They've spotted a massive... No, never mind. Anyway, the race is almost finished here. Hignet is coming into the final sectors. I think we will most likely see 2 more laps. And apparently the extra weight has slowed him down a little bit, but not quite enough for Piper to overcome a 15-second gap.
JW, what's your Discord name so I can have a chat with you at some stage? If it's just JW, I apologise, but shooting 24/7 will be interesting. It works if we got extras in the regions, but
There's always going to be more in some regions than others.
Mysterious. Matt really wants to shaft Ben here. What's the gap? Give him a DT. Just give him a...
14.5.
What's the DT worth? 20?
About 18 seconds, I think.
Oh, that's harsh. Do it. Oh, actually, no. It's no.
How much
Fairly
ballast
sure there's a
can you give
leaderboard
him?
for this.
How
Only
much
30.
ballast?
Oh, not enough for minute 20.
Ah.
He's going to need an Aston Martin Bulldog weighing him down.
No, I think he needs another Mercedes to tow.
Can somebody turn his engine on?
He has max ballast already, apparently.
And restrictor?
Restrictor. Chuck the restrictor on. I think you can do 20%. It's garbage, though. Just tell him to wait. See if he does. Competition yellow.
Yeah, call a safety car right now.
I would love that at some stage like they do in supercars, but to implement it without built-in game things, it's fraught with issues, so we don't bother.
Yeah.
What constitutes as a full caution? Like, that's just, I could just imagine the protest.
So he's got a 20% restrictor now.
It just won't be enough. You probably still lap faster.
He's got his ABS off. And he's got his TC off as well, I think.
No, he has.
He's playing the game at least.
News just in. The Donington Pro-Am qualifying is wet.
Oh.
For the next 5 minutes. So there's no point. The first 5 minutes of qualifying, no one's going out.
Oh, this is fantastic.
Poor Ben.
He's got 5-second penalty.
Why are you bullying me?
He's got 10.
10 seconds.
Is he gonna hold on?
All right, that's that's fair. Piper's pretty going. What's going on?
It's like, who has he hit because he hasn't been around another car for ages?
He hit himself.
He's actually stopping pretty well considering he doesn't have ABS.
Oh, that was a bit of a drift out of there.
Why is that done that?
One more corner to go. I think he probably has done enough to secure that win, but we will see. Nice little wiggle there out of the final corner, crosses the line to
Well done,
take the
Benny.
chicken back. Let's see if Piper has done enough to close that 10-second gap. I would be surprised if he was able to.
I reckon it's going to be 11 seconds. No, not even.
12.5. 12.9.
So Ben held on pretty well at the end there with the restrictor and the ballast. We've still got a nice battle flowing here. Gray hasn't got the nicest exit through the chicane and still gets it done on Gray.
That's a sand.
Now he's going to have a
No!
on Blair, and there's contact.
Okay. Wah, wah, wah.
Oh, that's worked out all right, actually. Well, not
Yeah.
all right for Scope, but he's turned him around by being binned himself. Is Jack the one that accidentally got into Oliver?
Yes, it
Yes.
was.
Needs to be a bit better under brakes there.
Yeah, just maybe a bit on it there on the brakes. But
Don't think he's been invited to the after party.
I think he got a bit excited with that run he got out of the chicane on the Honda. He was just like, ooh, golly. And then the car just wouldn't slow down.
What are brakes, anyways?
Yeah, overrated. And that is the end of that race. Final results. We'll let you guess.
Yep.
Not that it really matters. It's like, whose line is it anyway? The points don't matter. But the upcoming race, the points very much matter. And speaking about people mattering, yes, great segue, JP. Welcome, Mitch Hobbs.
Oh, thank you for telling me that, man. Oh, look at the weather here. How exciting is this?
Yeah, she's a bit damp at the moment, but it is drying out soon. But it won't be enough to get any dry running, so drivers will have to run in these conditions and just hope that that it improves throughout the session. So we're not really going to get your best times until right at the end.
This is going to be super important to be the last car to start a hot lap and then try not and validate at the chicane, basically. That would be the most effective way of going for pole here.
You see Jason McLean set the first lap of the session with a 34 flat. It'll be interesting to see where the times end up towards the end, but yeah, it's going to be tough for the drivers out there as Riley Price sets a 33.3.
So, Hobbsy, we were discussing it earlier, as today is a 70-minute race with a mandatory pit stop, but no tyres required. What do you do as the rain has officially stopped?
Well, I guess it's a question of, is there fixed refueling time, which is one of the settings I haven't checked for the server.
Not.
There isn't. Ooh.
No.
Well, I think you're better off not taking the tyres and trying to keep them as in check as possible, because if you only fill, half and half, that's 60, 70 litres. That's not necessarily 30 seconds of refueling time. However, if you do refuel and it's up to the 30-second time limit, you may as well take tyres at that point. So it's really up to the strategy of the drivers. But if it was me, I'd be doing my best to try and keep the tyres in check and taking as little fuel as possible in the pit stop to try and make up that time that I could potentially lose or open up the gap further.
I think I'm in 100% agreement with you, Hobbsy. It's all up in the air in this one. You could have a few drivers opt for a tyre change, could have a few drivers opt to take as much fuel as possible and then, to top up with a litre in the pit stop or do a half and half in the pit stop. Who knows?
We were looking at it the other day and thinking about it. If you fuel full to say 120 liters, which is, I think you're going to need about 120 to 125 depending on the car for the 70 minutes, and obviously you'll have traffic, so there might be slightly less usage or something like that, but the lap time difference with that heavy load of fuel is probably roughly about half a second or so per lap, maybe a little bit more, especially when the tires start wearing. And the time you save by only fueling that short little bit of fuel is 25 seconds. So will you make that balance up by just lapping quicker and taking the tires and then lapping quicker again in the final half of the track? I think that's where the interesting question comes in, and where track position probably plays quite a big role.
Yeah, I think it's also going to depend on the car you're driving and the weather conditions. As we can see, it's still a damp track, so the drivers are really going to have to work out if it's going to dry out quick enough. Do they go onto the dries for a final lap to try and put their way to the top? But we'll just have to wait and see what the weather's like coming into the race. As we see Price here at the moment, 7 tenths up, almost 8 tenths up. Ooh, a bit slidey into the chicane there, as you'd expect. Does a bit of a drift out there, but still green on the Delta. That's all you really want to see in these sort of conditions, is do your best and keep it in the green.
Yeah, I think the goal of this quality session for these drivers is just keep it on the grey stuff, and if you're able to do that, you should be in a nice position, especially with the track condition continually improving.
Yeah, it will be interesting to see if the track switches over to that greasy state, or will it stay damp for the rest of the session. It's only 8 minutes, so it's not that long, and it is still overcast, not exactly that hot. So there's every chance that it stays damp for the rest of the session. But yeah, look how tight that qualifying field is at the moment there.
Extremely tight.
So we have Chris Taylor on pole at the moment with a 32.3, and then it's about 2 tenths down all the way to P8. So yeah, so close. And as you said, this track is going to be evolving. So those track or the lap times will be coming down. Quite surprised to see the tire stack is still there after 8 minutes of qualifying.
Is that legal? I thought that was meant to have been gone by now. Someone should have hit it.
Well, I mean, in the race that just happened, it disappeared straight away on the formation lap.
Awesome. Someone knows what they're doing.
But yeah, it's still there. Drivers clearly take it easy around these curbs at the moment.
Yeah, they'll be pretty greasy for the rest of the session. We see it's still going to be dry. McLean jumps up to 10th. So a good tight little battle here. We see that little dry line forming. So do one of the drivers maybe take a gamble on the dries and really pump those pressures up to see if they can get a time in on the dries that might end up being faster than Taylor there at the moment.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to know what the sort of crossover point is here in terms of lap times when the dries start working better than the wets. It's currently 1:32, so you're only about 6 seconds off of a good lap time in the dry. So yeah, it's probably not that far off the dry tires becoming a viable option, but there's only 6 minutes remaining, so tricky call for the drivers here.
Incredibly tricky. I reckon there's a good chance we'll see some slick tyre running right at death here.
Well, I mean, if you're one of those drivers that are a bit further back, is it silly not to take that gamble? Go on the dry, see if you can go fast and really get your way up the field to those who may not take the dries, and try the times on the wet if it's not quite at that crossover point or right in the middle of it where either tyre could be the fastest.
Yeah, It's hard to say. I mean, from personal experience, I found that once the track goes greasy, that's when you really can get the benefit on those dry tires. On a damp track, the wets tend to mostly work better than the dry tires do. As the drone flies off into the distance, there, Joshua McLean into the pit lane. Track has gone greasy, so there's time to jump onto those dry tires and potentially get some better lap times going towards the end of this qualifying session.
Oh, things have just turned exciting now. Crossover point has well and truly been reached. It's just down to what the drivers want to do in this situation. Look, I think at this specific time, you've almost have to go out on the dries and just see whether you can gain a little bit of time over your compatriots. Track position is so crucial around here.
Yeah, as we see, Kigali now goes up to pole with a 31.8 now. Wondering if he's on the dries or not. Might have taken that gamble. As we see, McClaws goes a little deep. So maybe those dries that he's on aren't quite warm yet. You may not get them up to temp in these conditions, but if you just pump them up a little bit, you can get them at least into that 26 PSI range, which in a normal race situation is not enough. But if it's enough to gain you the time, why not do it? As he goes P2, in fact, and he could have had that little bit of extra time maybe for pole if he just brought the braking point back a little bit there for the hairpin. But other than that, great lap.
Yeah, no, I suspect we will be seeing green deltas across the field here. It's all going to come down to who gets the timing right towards the end. Oh, never mind. That is okay. Sure.
Spidey Airlines ready for takeoff? What's going on there?
Where we are going, we don't need roads. And there he goes. Okay, fantastic.
No, and he's... Whoa.
Was that a drift or is that ping? I'm not sure what's going on here, but...
He's up on his time and that's all that matters.
Allianz
That's
Insurance,
all
how
right.
can I help?
Of course you will be up. He's literally using an airplane. That's not fair.
No, it's
And
well,
he's
he goes
got
pole.
41.
Yeah.
There's an unidentified flying object on P1 at the moment. Well done, Spidey.
Yeah, we're very pleased with that. 2 minutes
Actual
left in
alien.
qualifying now. Yeah, definitely. I agree.
Literal
Alien
alien.
there.
I didn't expect to see any aliens in the Pro-Am class, but here we are as we see Sean Miller takes pole there, or provisional pole at least, so the times are tumbling. I think that provisional pole position is going to change hands at least a couple more times before the end of this session.
It's going to come down to who sets their lap last, really.
Yeah,
So-
absolutely.
What if I cross the line with 1 second left? Does that mean I'm the winner? So I just automatically win?
Yeah, I think they just give
Yes.
you the pole position award there.
Ah, right. Oh, that makes sense. Well, let's see who crosses the line with 1 second left. Still.
What if no one crosses the line with
Yeah.
1 second left?
Well, no one wins then.
So we just pack it up and we're done?
I think that's how it works. 30.5, that's a big jump on the rest of the times now. So we're going to start to see those times increasing. People realising they do need to jump on those dry tyres to get the extra time out that they're looking for.
There's so much traffic on track as well, so very tricky to get that open air. I mean, everybody is quite fairly... Oh, that's not ideal. That was his last opportunity and hasn't quite turned out the way he wanted that to go. As he is currently sitting in P4, I suspect he might drop down a couple more positions. Bechtold slips it into P2 there as well. Spidey will cross the line with 5 seconds left. Okay, but that doesn't automatically give him the win, so he needs to do better than that.
Oh, lovely.
That's it.
Flying birds.
Where is the car? What's it looking for?
It's looking for more BP ultimates.
Ah, I see. As Kugali goes fast again, 30.4. So those times really starting to come in with that dry line now. Still greasy, so probably not going to see a lot of faster times. So we see McClaws has just gone even faster, not by much. 2.5 tenths, probably a fair chunk, but still plenty of time.
Yeah, there's still a bunch of cars to complete laps. I think those cars coming into the final sector at the moment will potentially have one more lap, but those will be the last couple of drivers. See, Bechtold is up quite a fair chunk here.
Is he being blocked here?
I think he is being slowed down a little bit at least, yeah.
Yeah, that's the time gone, but still going to cross the line with a couple of seconds to spare, so let's see what happens. He's backed out of it, he's had enough. He's not going to be able to go for another one.
He won't be able to overtake Dickinson there, so he knows that there's no real use going for it.
Oh, that's a real send in the conditions that we've got through the chicane there. Still green though, so looking really good on this lap. This is going to be his final lap, coming down to the hairpin now. One of the trickiest corners on this track, I dare say. And then the hairpin at the final corner as well, which is just as tricky.
Yeah, with a silly off-camber nature, and it's just a weird corner to get it right, but he seems to have gotten it fairly close to right there. Will he have enough in the bag for P1? He certainly does.
Wow, he does.
Only just, but what, that's 200ths of a second. That's very, very tight there at the top. Though McClaws is still going on a lap.
Vladimir Malik also up almost half a second here. He only needs to find 4/10 to take that pole position. Will he be able to get the final corner right? A little bit wide on the entry, but will that give him a good exit? Is it going to be enough? It is enough for P1.
By a margin too.
Now here's Spidey Airways now coming up to the final corner. It is green. A couple of seconds down on fastest pole lap now, but he is on the dry, so he's going to look to gain some real time here if he can from P19. That's going to put him straight up to P2. What a lap.
Yeah, well done there, Spidey. And here is Rockford.
Never mind.
Never mind then.
Spidey might get a grid penalty here for the race. Apparently he has blocked some cars on his pit exit, so it'll be interesting to see what the stewards take as their view on that. But we do have an official grid with Vladimir Malik taking pole position, Simon Scanlon in P2, Christopher Taylor P3, Lucas Kugley in P4, Shane McLaws, Sean Miller, Johnston and Stimson, Ben Dyke and Brian Kong is your top 10. Stefan Bechtold, who was sitting in P2 not too long ago, dropped all the way to P11 when he couldn't get a good lap together, and that just shows you how competitive this field is, where the margins are so fine in terms of getting that lap in.
Yes, certainly. These Pro-Ams are very, very quick drivers in their own right, and they're all very, very close together in their time, so we could have a very, very tight race.
But now the drivers will be sitting there dry for at least the next 30 minutes. I hope for their sake the weather doesn't change. They're going to be looking at their strategy going, how much fuel do they want? Are they going to change tyres? If I was them, I'd try to just keep it, on the same set. Are they going to do 40 minutes and then for the next 30 stay on those tyres but with lower fuel? What are they going to do?
Strategy is very up in the air in this one. I reckon you'll have the ones at the top might feel that they can risk going with a slightly more aggressive strategy with either a tyre change or a bit more fuel at the pit stop, while some in the midfield might think that getting that track position is very, very important, so may just go for that ultra quick 1 litre stop.
Depends how the drivers have their cars set up for the race, whether they chew through tyres, if they've done testing for it. If they don't know and it does chew through tyres, it's going to cost them time if they weren't planning to swap tyres. So, all to play for here, I think.
Certainly.
Apologies, I am back.
Hello, back.
Ugh, God.
Yeah, got him. Oh.
Do you even have kids?
No, I'm half your age almost.
So you can't make those jokes.
Well, I do anyway.
That's not fair. Half my age, that's harsh. Wait, probably true, but still harsh.
Well, I mean, if Hobbsy's half your age, I'm more than I am.
This is not the discussion we're having. There is racing going on.
So we do have a few AM class drivers in here. They won a wildcard entry on winning their split, so Simpson in P8 as part of the AM class has done very nicely.
Yeah, wow, P8, that's a really good effort. Williamson there, P21, and Stockton down in P29. Still good effort, you know. You expect AMs coming in. Oh, they're going to be at the back. No, we've got brilliant AM talent here. Good to see them up in top 10, top 20 even. It's really good to see.
Yeah, already putting in their petition for a promotion into the next season.
I was going to say, what's that I smell? Is that a Pro-Am promotion? Let me smell. Yeah, I think that's what I can see here.
No, it's just smoke.
Ah, right, yeah.
But yeah, the few pro classes shown here are at just incorrectly shown Pro-Am class cars. So there's all Pro-Am and Am class drivers here. The pro cars are not actually pro cars.
So just pretend it's a different colour. That's okay.
Yeah, you can see Scanlon's just put himself into a slightly adjusted position due to that grid penalty he's received.
Yep, completely fair from the stewards. If you are blocking someone in quali, you will be penalised for it. We see, not too sure. Someone might be able to tell me how far back Spidey is. Eh? Looks like 1 or 2 positions to me. Might actually be
qualified on P2, so
2. So maybe it's 2, 1 or 2. Yeah.
Yeah.
2 positions, I guess.
2 positions, I think.
Yep. Race control asking question for chat: who is going to take home the round 1 win? Hobbsy, Bowen? What do we think? While chat hashes it out.
I think it's going to be a tough one. I think it's going to come down to strategy. So you look at this thinking Floody Malik in P1 could be anyone. I think one to look for, at least for the podium, will be Kugali, but I think Malik might have this one sorted with the right strategy.
I'm going to go with the driver starting along very close to Malik. That is Chris Taylor. Chris Taylor, I believe, is starting in P3 there. I reckon he's a fair shout for this one. Chris Taylor has a lot of pace in that Honda.
That is stealing my prediction, but as we come around the final corner, Vladimatic leads us away. Lewis Quigley is next to him. And we are about to go racing for the Season 12 Pro-Am Finals. We should go green now. There we go. Vladimatic takes it away. As you see Ben Dyke in the background, they dive up the middle of the track there, but seems like a fairly good start by everybody at the front. Free wide there. You see the Aston gets pushed a little bit wide. Christopher Taylor looking for something up the inside there, side by side by 2 McLarens in the background there. Will Taylor be able to hang it around the outside and get the inside for the old hip? And he certainly does. And he slides into the lead, and Scanlon takes advantage of that and goes past Malik as well. Malik drops bound to P3 at the moment. No yellow flags currently on the track maps, so a clean start so far. Malik would be looking to gain some positions back, as we see an Aston and a McLaren side by side in the background as well. Top 5 have sort of settled down into single file at the moment. It seems as though the cars behind them as well. Let's see if Vladimir can do anything as they come down to the chicane for the first time. Christopher Taylor with a great start in this race, already about half a second clear. First time tackling the chicane. The bollard is alive. The cars are all coming through. Ben Dyke takes the esports line over the sand, but he does manage to keep it going straight. We'll lose a couple more positions there as we see Brian Kong also come through, trying to get a move done up the inside. Not quite close enough. Ben Dyke tips up the inside of Viney there, but Viney manages to get the move done around the outside. Up near the front, Malik has gotten past Scanlon there, so I'm assuming that was done at the hairpin. And we are done for lap 1 of the Pro-Am finals.
Yeah, great clean start from the Pro-Am lads. That is a very well executed lap 1. Chris Taylor having a very, very good start, was able to sneak his way up the inside of Malik. And then Scanlon just capitalizing, but Malik's got him back, so not the greatest to start there. Malik will be looking to improve on that, but Taylor out front and is now looking to command this race. But of course, strategy will play a huge part in this one.
Yeah, the question of course at the moment is how much fuel do these cars have on board? We of course do not know if they're running full fuel, if they're running half fuel. Only time will tell, but we should start seeing the cars that are running lighter fuel make their way through the pack. potentially get some overtakes time.
Yeah, look at that driver. They're a little bit further back that maybe underfueled and have gotten stuck in traffic a little bit. Not really going to be benefiting from this a lot, even though they probably will be using that a little bit less fuel due to the slipstream and having to sort of back off to try and not take other drivers out. Bit of a dive down the inside there of McLaren. Oh, there's a little bit of a tap there. I believe that's back told, but kept it all under control. There's the McLaren's guy side by side into the final corner. Who's going to give in here? Good racing room given. Backtol's just looking in on this battle as they come out front. As Flatty Malik takes just should wait a minute for the fastest lap to come through as Kugali takes the fastest lap now. Really good for him to make his way back up from P5.
And Oliver asking who will get the first track limits DT. I'm going to make a brave call and say we will not see a track limits drive-through in this race.
That is a very bold call, considering we saw a few drive-through penalties in the short 45-minute race earlier. Although if there are any drive-through penalties, I'm not actually going to say which drivers they are at this stage.
Can we as commentators get drive-through for cursing people? Is that a rule?
But we do have a few infractions from lap 1. So Simon Scanlon's picked up a 10-second penalty for an infraction on lap 1. And I have a feeling I saw Williamson pick up one as well, just briefly. This is Muller around the outside. Johnson nearly collides with McLaws in front. Now that's invited back told to get right on the back of Sean Muller. But I don't think he'll be able to make a dive into the hairpin. He's going to have a look. Muller also had a look there on Johnson, but cannot get a move done. So they stay in order for now.
Bechtold has done very well. He's been forced to check up quite a few times in the last couple of laps and managed to avoid contact so far. Christopher Taylor takes the fastest lap for now. I suspect Scanlon and who was the other one, Williamson, probably just out of position a little bit, which may explain Scanlon's belter of a start that he got. Maybe a bit of a jump start there. So unfortunate for him to get that penalty, but they are clearing off a little bit towards the front there, so he might not lose quite as much time from that penalty as you would think.
B. Williamson, he's just dropped out of the top 20, so wonder where he's dropped back to.
Yeah, Diabol's in chat saying that Spidey should get a drive-through for driving the Ferrari. I'll have you know, Diabols, the car's not as bad around here as you think it might be.
But it's a Ferrari.
Good?
Yeah, that's true. It's not great.
Okay.
That's just my biased opinion.
I thought it would be okay, apart from the chicane, where the lack of suspension might not really help it out. But the rest of the track would be fairly good for sort of mid-speed corners.
Yeah, someone's jumped the start. In fact, Dickinson's got a 10-second pen for jumping the start.
I saw, I think it was Cameron Ross also picked up a 10-second penalty for jumping the start, and here's Luke Marvel with a 15-second penalty for causing a collision on lap 2.
Okay, so the stewards had a nice break in the previous race, but they are working overtime at the moment, sorting out all of these penalties. Malik steals back the fastest lap, 27.9, as we see Lee Perkins there as well. Another 10-second penalty for being out of position on lap 1. So you would have expected to see a little bit less of those sort of penalties come finals times, but Benjamin Williams there, 10-second penalty for out of position as well. So that's about, what, 7 or 8 cars that have been pinged for infractions at the start?
So the moral of the story, don't be out of position on the start, I think.
Yeah, just don't jump the start, don't be out of position on the start either.
Yes, that's exactly right. Kugali here at the moment. Still just trying to chase down Spidey. Does have the fastest lap of the race. That Aston's looking really planted at the moment. You look maybe on Spidey through the chicane since the Ferrari is not ideal through there, depending on how you drive it. But we look to see both these guys approach. Kugali got the run, might look to go too wide. And does. Let's see what he can do here. Sticks it there. Spidey comes back across him. Oh, Kugali almost tapped the rear, and that was really good awareness there. Coming down into hairpin. Let's see what Kugali can do. Might go for a bit of a dive here. Just put the nose in to let Spidey know he's there. Sticks to the inside, but the Aston Fry will get an equally moderate exit coming down to the final corner.
Now Kugali's going to have a go up the inside. That's Nice braking there and gets it done, but can Spidey get a little bit of traction on the exit? No, so Kigali gets into P3 and will now be looking to chase after Vladimir Malik and Chris Taylor.
I'm wondering if Kugali is not maybe on slightly less fuel. He's looking very, very racy. Not to take anything away from his pace, he's been fast the whole season, but he's looking as though he does have the pace to chase down the top 2 at the moment.
Yeah, I think Spidey might not have particularly liked that move from Kigali. It was a little bit late. Spidey did go a little bit deep, so Kigali went to the inside, but Spidey went for the switchback. Gave him a bit of a touch up there on the end. I don't know if it was actual contact. He got really close. I think it was just a warning to him to say, "Oh, not keen on that one," but still going. Kigali's holding a head fine coming up towards Floody Malik now.
Okay, so I can confirm that Scanlon started the race on heavy fuel. He currently has about 96 liters left. So he is running probably long into this race and most likely not changing tires. So it'll be interesting to see how that plays out for him.
Looks like, there's a lot of interesting things on the start here. That is
Oh my.
very amateur hour stuff.
I think the steward and Malik both have their heads in their hands looking at that.
Yeah, that is right old mess, that is.
I would think that side by side is not a particularly difficult concept to manage.
Not just side by side, but also the gap to car ahead, because there was a few interesting gaps there. Some were small gaps, some were very large gaps, so yeah, just a bit all over the place.
I wouldn't understand it, but I could potentially understand it if it was the first race of the season. But it's final time. we've had 6 rounds to practice these things, so you would expect a slightly better start than what we have seen there. So anyway, everybody has gotten their penalties, and they will certainly hopefully learn their lesson come next week.
Lessons, what are they? Do we learn them?
Yeah,
Well, we should.
Yes, right.
I'm pretty sure that is a source of knowledge. I wonder if most people will be aware of that. Oh, there goes the bollard.
How did that last 10 minutes?
Yeah,
No idea.
that lasted a ridiculous amount of time. But
31
Kigali
cars on the track as well.
Kigali's gotten right onto the back of Malik here. This is going to be very good racing here from Kigali.
I certainly suspect, I might be wrong, and he might just be an absolute freak at Donington, but I think he is running lighter fuel than the cars around him, just based on how quickly he closed that gap from P4 to P2 at the moment.
Wow, this is the question. Does Kigali try and fight? Or does he just go for a send and let them know I'm here and try and get past? Or does he pit earlier to try and get out of the traffic?
It's a very good question.
I think the problem is if you pit early, then you're running with a heavy car anyway, so you kind of negate that advantage that you're trying to gain as well. And as you can see, that field spread that we have at the moment, there's very few places that you can pit from where you're not going to have at least some traffic. So it's a very tricky call to make.
Certainly. Either way, Kigali is very, very quick right now as Stockton picks up 10 seconds for a collision on lap 5. As we have a possible move for the lead between Taylor and Malik. Malik tries to go around the outside at the Melbourne hairpin, has now invited Kigali into the battle, but they hold station for now, but things are getting exciting out front.
Oh, Kigali almost hit the back of Malik there. Malik's going to get the better run out of the corners compared to the Aston, but the Honda's also going to be on par there. As you see, Chris Taylor now is just coming down to turn 1. Malik's there. Kigali's also there. He's gone a bit deeper, but looking for the exit on that M4. As we see Bachtold now just around the outside of, I believe that's McClaw's.
Yes, that is
It
McClaw's.
Just touched the dirt. He's going to come back on safely. He does. It's a real killer there. Might spin you round, but Pete Viney also just takes an opportunity to get through now as McClaw's drops back to P8.
Yeah, just a slight mistake there as Malik is having to defend from Cugley now. This is getting very feisty. Cugley's going to have a go up the inside, possibly in the next corner. No, he has to back out of it. Just doesn't quite get the exit he wants to, but Cugley is very, very quick right now.
And he's certainly looking to move forward at the moment. As we've known, it's a very difficult track to overtake, but he has been doing some very good attempts so far. I think on the previous lap, Christopher Taylor got a very poor run out of the chicane, which sort of set up that whole melee into the final sector here. This time around, he's got it right, but he's gone very deep. Will Malik get the run? They are side by side again, although the Honda gets a great drive out of there. Kugeli trying to get a toe off of the Honda. Malik around the outside, that's definitely going to compromise him. He won't be able to close that door on Kugeli at the moment. They are side by side. It's a drag race down to turn 1. I think it's a drag race. The BMW should be able to win in this case, but he will have the inside for turn 1 and should be able to defend second position for another lap here. Kugeli very close to the back of them. They're planning with a big moment. Kugeli checks up and manages to avoid an incident there.
Ooh, 15-second time penalty there for unsafe rejoin there from Andrew Skinner on lap 5. As Fuddy Malik still holds on to P2 as Simon Scanlon and Spidey's just keeping his eye in on this battle to see if he can maybe get up on this and just let them do all the fighting for him. Maybe gain a position, maybe even 2 out of it, or even the lead if Chris Taylor accidentally maybe just loses the brake and kind of looks to the final corner through the hairpin. Let's see what happens through here.
This top 4 has completely cleared off from the rest of the pack already. 3 second gap from Scanlon to Miller there, but then we have quite a few little other battle packs developing across the track as well. So it looks as though Kugeli got a good run out of the chicane there. Tries to go up the inside of Malik late on the brakes. Makes the apex beautifully. That is a perfect bit of driving from both of them. Malik manages to keep it around the outside. That is going to give him the inside line into the final hairpin. Not an easy corner to go side by side, but they make it work, and Kugeli may have gotten this done around the outside. He does have the inside for turn 1. Only needs to secure the position as they come through one final corner here. Gets the move done, and he is up into P2. That is some fantastic racing by Kugeli there.
Yeah, great racing there from Kugeli, just making his move apparent at the Melbourne hairpin, then just holding on for dear life at the final corner to then take inside light turn 1. Very well executed.
Oh, Malik just touched a little bit of the grass there as McLean also gets a 10-second penalty for causing a collision on lap 7, so still some penalties coming through the steward's box. I'm sure they're having a whirler of a time there. So now jump over with Brian Kong, who's trying to chase down Shane McCaws, who's just got Johnston not too far behind him as well. See how that one evolves over the races. We see Ben Dye there, a little bit of a gaggle of cars here. Denaldi's in here. Someone spun Riley Price's round in his Nissan. Still wants to keep going. There's back on board with Stockton. There's a Lambo going side by side there with a Porsche. I think that was Rochford and Dickinson. Stockton, one of our hand drivers, looks to try and make some positions up. Rochford there for Kovac's drinks carrier. Is he carrying your drinks, JP?
I have yet to receive my drink, so if he is, he's not very good at it.
Question is, what drink are you expected to receive?
I don't know, I didn't order anything, but if I had my choice, it'll just be a nice black coffee. I'll be happy with that, thank you.
At this time of night?
I'm one of those people who can drink a coffee and then go to sleep, so it doesn't really...
So you're insane?
Yeah, I was about to say.
Say that.
But Rochford's under a bit of pressure here from Lewis. These two are one of the few that don't have penalties in this pack. A lot of drivers back here have penalties.
The Christmas tree is lit all the way up. It seems as though Jesse McLean has finished his pit stop. He seems to be the only driver currently who has decided to do that pit stop. So it's going to be interesting to see how that plays out. Obviously he has that penalty that he will have to take at the end of the race. But yeah, we should keep an eye on that. Currently running P32. Let's see where he plays out when everything is said and done. Kugeli is in the lead already. We didn't see that move happen, I don't think, but Christopher Taylor is officially in P2. Googly already nearly a second ahead, with Taylor getting a poor run out of the chicane there. Bloody Malik going to try go around the outside here. Don't think that's going to happen.
Yeah, that's what I expected. Race Control just clearing up that little 10-second penalty at the start for infraction on that one was actually the qualifying penalty for Simon Scanlon. Just clearing that one up for us.
Thank you, Race Control.
Race Control knows everything.
As if they're
I would hope so, they're in
monitoring
control
the
of it.
entire race.
No, really?
Yeah, I know, it's strange, isn't it? But speaking of car 115, Spidey's got a bit of pace back in him, and he's right on the back of Vladdy Malik now.
He's looking focused, looking at him on his stream. So he's looking good. His car tire pressures are actually a little bit low. I'm wondering if that's due to running in the traffic, or not in the traffic, but in this sort of battle pack where you're not running the pace you're used to running.
Race Control seems to know what the lotto numbers are. That is good to know. So I'll make sure you get your tickets ready for that.
Yeah. I don't know what the jackpot is this week, but get your tickets in anyways. We see Sean Muller now is just trying to keep Bechtold off the back, but that's proven difficult coming through the chicane. Porsche's looking a little bit more planted with them than the McLaren, which is a little unusual for a car in the line of the Porsche. So we see Malik once again just trying to look around the outside of Chris Taylor's. We see Kugali's actually pulling out a fair gap now to Taylor's side. Say, JP, you were right in thinking that he may be on some lower fuels. We see Williamson gets a 15-second penalty for causing a collision on lap 8 as well. So, of course, these drivers will have to serve these penalties when they go to pit for their mandatory pit stop.
That's Williamson on to 25 seconds of penalties now, so not having a great race so far when it comes to infractions. But yeah, I think all this battling between Taylor and Malik here is certainly helping Scanlon to stay in this fight as well. So Malik goes very, very wide there. That's a very easy spot for the car to go around, but he manages to get it going straight. Be able to, no, not quite able to make that work, but it's helping Kugli so much to pull away a little bit faster as well, because these guys are squabbling all the time.
Yes, but the question here in the strategy is when Kugali pits, is he going to put in fuel that's going to bring that margin back down? That's the question.
I mean, I would assume so. I think the most fuel you can put without sort of losing time in the pits is like 12 liters or something like that. At which
Speaking
stage?
of losing time.
Yeah, there we go. Scanlon up the inside. Malik gives him all the room.
Bechtold.
Whoa, okay.
That is a late old move, but he's got it done. That's a late move, but it's nicely executed from Bechtold on Sean Muller.
Yeah, Malik here. We just see a bit later on the brakes. Might look towards a bit of a better exit than Scanlon, but couldn't quite get it done there. Malik's just going to sit back, maybe see if he can get past Scanlon again. If not, might think about pitting. Oh, sticks his nose down the inside just to scare Spidey a little bit. That's a real risk, and Spidey, I think, might have been a little bit scared by that and just didn't quite get the exit, and Malik gets back past. That's a moderate amount of scary.
Yes, I was clenching there. It looks like Malik is going to go right into the back of Scanlon, but somehow they avoid contact, and it's actually helped Malik in the end, back ahead of Scanlon. Look at Bechtold.
All of that is Taylor, because Taylor just got a nice, good big gap. He can put in some quali laps, and as you said, Bechtold joins the party, so player free has entered the game.
And Muller behind is still relatively close, so it's going to be a well-battled affair now.
So Pat Oliver in chat saying 1 litre takes 3.5 seconds, so about 8 litres is a 30-second pit stop. Does that make sense? Ooh, that's
No, so the default fueling time is 3.5 seconds. I think it's 3.5 seconds, and then every
like
litre
0.7.
above that, it's 0.3 of a second, I believe.
0.3, okay.
Someone
so
will have to
you
double
should
check
be able-
my facts, but yes.
Yeah.
That certainly opens it up a little bit more, because you can add a good amount of fuel and not lose too much time. So yeah, anyway, the strategy battle will play out the way it plays out, regardless of what we speculate, so we can just commentate on what we
Wow. Can we just, wow, have a look at that livery on that Lambo. That is
see. Michaela, it's
something to
amazing.
withhold. That is,
Look
Come
at
that's
that.
something
on.
wow.
Now that is a Hot Wheels livery if I've ever seen one. Which
It's
I
meant to be
have.
Optimus. Is it meant to be Optimus Prime? Yes, it
Yes.
is.
It is.
Yes.
That's nice.
Last season he had a Bumblebee livery on his car as well, so
Oh, that's great.
I think he may be a Transformers fan. I don't know why. I don't know why I say that, but starting
No,
to
I
get
don't know
the
where you
sense
get
of
that idea from. Yeah.
Brendan Pauly saying 25 liters took about 8 seconds in the race earlier. So by that math, you should be able to fuel what for half a race in about 20 seconds or so, roughly that.
Something like that. Have a look at the amount of penalties a bit further down. That's it's a sea of red I'm seeing there.
Yeah, that is a lot of penalties. A lot of drivers have been naughty in this race, as we see side by side between Stimpson and Donaldi. That was going through the
Oh,
chicane
that's
there.
Scanlon. Scanlon
Yeah,
has had a big moment.
Wonder if he's
Oof.
just lost it on the exit of the chicane.
Sure, we'll get a lovely replay of that one. Once the time comes, we see a little bit more of this battle now as Scanlon looks to try and defend from, I think that's Kidman, in fact. Yeah, just trying to defend from there. We see Bendire. In fact, you can't really miss him, really, in that pink McLaren. He always loves that pink and very bright livery, so you know where he is on the track.
Is that pink or is that purple?
Oh, don't
It's
start
ugly.
this. Yes, yes, that's exactly right.
Oh, hey!
What was that? That was a bit of a...
Whoa.
Oh, there we go.
Oh.
Here we go.
Mighty Airways is back in business.
Flight SS115 ready for takeoff.
The strange thing is nothing happened on his stream.
Meanwhile, Muller's made it back past Bechtold, so it's up to P4 and is now 1.6 behind Malik. So...
Yeah, good little move there. Muller to get back past Bechtold, as we see.
Malik's made a
Bloody
mistake
Malik's had
somewhere.
a moment.
So Malik has had a moment, which means Muller is now in P3, and this is a battle for P3 in the race at the moment.
Love a good
Wondering
podium
when
battle.
that moment with Malik happened, whether it was maybe him and...
Malik's just further back, so it can't have been a huge moment, but it was significant enough to drop him down behind Muller and Bechtold.
Yeah, maybe just lost it on one of the curbs coming over the top of the hill. I'm sure we might get a bit of a replay back on that later on as well once we get a bit further in. Still just ticked over 45 minutes left in the race, so we might start to see maybe people pitting a little earlier in the next sort of 5 to 10 minutes. Let's have a look and see what's happened to Simon Scanlon now through the chicane. It's fine. Took a bit too much of that second curb, as that was a really good effort there from, I believe that's Bechtold, to just avoid that. That was brilliant.
Yes.
Looks like that was what allowed Müller to get past as well, because Bechtold had to compromise so much there. Bechtold he's been, I don't know if he took some evasive driving classes or something, but he has evaded some incidents freaking expertly today, like some kind of Jedi.
Maybe he's a
Maybe
Jedi.
just knows. Yeah.
So we
That's
have
not
a
how the
yellow
Force
flag
works.
there. I don't know. How does the Force work?
No idea.
Well,
Oh,
Muller has
bad
not got a
run.
good exit. That is Bechtold up the inside into the Melbourne hairpin. This should be a relatively simple move now. And gets nice and late, but will Muller try and switch back? No, he's late himself, so Bechtold gets back ahead.
Love that little touch of the brakes there, mid apex there from Bechtold, just to tell them no. Oh, very wide, very wide.
Yeah,
Coming
super
up
wide.
through to the ascent up the hill. Kept on track there, really good stuff. If it had a spin there, that would have made life a lot more painful, as Muller now slots back into P4 to chase down Bechtold. Kugali's got a really good lead out the front, 6 and a bit seconds. This may help him in his strategy later on when he goes to pit and chucks in fuel. Whether he chucks on a new set of tyres, we will yet to see, as we see Chris Taylor still sat in P2 in front of Bechtold for P3.
So Taylor is having a nice quiet race. He was involved in a couple of battles earlier, but both of the drivers who were fighting with him has dropped off a little bit, so he'll just be looking to put in some clean laps at the moment. But Oliver, if you were Miller, would you pit or too early? It's too early at the moment.
Too early, yeah.
It's
Yeah.
that big group, not too far behind, or quite a distance behind the main pack. And you have every chance of coming out in the middle of that group, which would pretty much ruin your race.
Yeah, you've got to bide your time now. We're still not quite halfway into this race. Still 42 minutes to go. I reckon you'll start seeing most of your drivers come with about 30 to go.
Scandon certainly has shot himself in the foot a little bit with that incident he had earlier, dropped all the way down to P14. So he will be wanting to clear this traffic as quickly as possible, but of course these drivers will not make it easy for him, all of them quick in their own right as well. And just quietly, Stimson, the AM driver, here on a wildcard entry, running in P9 at the moment, so great performance from him. Rob Will saying 6 to 10 laps yet. Yeah, it sounds about right. I mean, if you want to do it sort of halfway or just over halfway, you're looking at sort of the 35 to 30 minutes left in the race mark, which is another 10 minutes or so to go. So we will start seeing the strategy battle. Oh, shame of course. Hold on to it somehow. Lost it, very nearly lost it. Didn't lose that much time somehow. Not sure how he did that, but great save. Yeah, Kugeli, that gap at the moment, 8.7 seconds. Based on the sort of pit stop difference, he needs to find about 17 more seconds. So let's see how things play out as the race progresses.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to know how much fuel he's going to have to take on in the pit stop. As I said earlier, it was 25 litres was 8 seconds or something along those lines. So 25 litres at the moment is not going to get you anywhere near the end, so he really needs to ramp things up a bit here. And if so, may he even be looking to chuck on a new set of tyres with a new tank of fuel and see if he can make that time back over the race in maybe a bit of clean air as well as
Bechtel,
Chris
the head of
Taylor.
Taylor.
Yeah,
So
maybe a bit of a moment there.
Bechtold's had a lot of pace in this one, but Taylor's going to try and come back at him. The Porsche obviously not that quick in a straight line. Taylor's going to have a go right at the inside. That's tight stuff.
Well spotted there by Bechtel to give him that extra little bit of space, so his end brake in there as well. But they keep fighting, and this allows Malik to close right back up to this pack, and it is now a 4-car pack. Get another replay here. Taylor just going way too deep on the second part of the chicane, allowing Bechtel up the inside, coming down to the hairpin. So Bechtel, he's just kept his nose clean so far, and that has garnered him about 10 positions so far in this race.
There's a little bit of traffic that they're just having to contend with now. Most of them have been able to get through, but Malik's had to hold behind just for now. Get through now.
Yeah, Malik's just hoping, praying just to hold on as Stockton gets a stop go 10 for causing a collision on lap 16. It's quite a hefty penalty, so there must be a fairly large incident cause there, as Dickinson also gets a 15-second penalty for a collision on lap something or other that I missed.
I believe that was lap 20.
Yep, Stewart's keeping up. This evening, as we just see here, this is the battle for P3. Bechtel's gotten away a little bit now. 10, almost 11-second gap to Kugeli now. He is loving the amount of battling going on, because that's going to benefit him in the long run with his strategy. If he can keep pulling that time out, we may even see a different strategy call from maybe a couple of these drivers fighting. If they don't want to get too much time lost, they might actually come in early and chuck in a bit more fuel to try and get themselves out of the traffic. As we see, Malik really just moving all over the track to try and keep out of the back of Muller, but at the same time try and keep within reaching distance for that position.
Taylor made a bit of a mistake there coming up the hill, which closed Miller up on him, and then Miller made a mistake that closed Malik on them. So a lot of like small mistakes that's creeping in for some of the drivers. Chris Withers there with a 15-second penalty. That's a little bit more than a small mistake. That garner that penalty. But yeah, you've seen Taylor and Müller, Malik, and them making these small little mistakes, and in a race where the pace is this closely matched throughout the field, small mistakes are big time losses. So really need to keep it nice and tidy on the track to get the
Wow,
maximum
look at
results.
this. That's a very big group of cars being led by Bendai here in his bright pink McLaren. Look at all these cars all fighting for position. This is really good to see. I believe that's 5 cars in this battle, maybe even 6. I think we count 5 at the moment. We just see McCullough here in the Lambo just holding on the back here to see maybe if he can get into this fight a little bit further. Scanlon's in front of him in the Ferrari. That's Kidman there just looking off from Denaldi and Bendai, so we'll look to see how they can maybe make a few positions up through here. Kidman got a good exit but just couldn't quite get the power down coming up the hill now.
Very tight stuff between these drivers. Spidey's getting a little closer to Kidman. Kidman's getting a little closer to Denaldi. They're all super tight right now. But has sort of stayed around this order for a few laps. I'm sure Spidey will be eager to make some moves.
Yeah, certainly these guys are battling for the top 10 at the moment. So the gap in front of Van Dyke is about 5 seconds to Stimson. So I suspect that these guys are trying to get into that top 10. Maybe some of them have the pace to sort of clear off a little bit, but at the moment they're all holding up each other for the most part. I think Van Dyke is not the fastest guy in this group, getting a lot of pressure from behind, but as we've seen, very tricky track to overtake on. So Stimson and Geller are into the pits. Speaking of being tricky to overtake, Denaldi up the inside of turn 1, little bit of a bump there on Van Dyke. Van Dyke dips a wheel. It's going to allow Scanlon and potentially, who is the other car there as well? I think it was Kidman in the Audi, to get through, as well as Riley Price in his Nissan. But I think he is a lap car.
Yes, he is a lap car right now. But Scanlon's right on the back of Kidman.
So this is going to be interesting to see. So Michele was part of this battle group, and he is the first one to blink and take that pit stop. Just about on the halfway mark of this race. Oh, very poor run from Denaldi. That's going to compromise.
Whoa.
Okay, everybody's facing the right direction.
Okay, let's just calm
Price
it down.
needs to be a lot more careful there as a lapped car. Yet, yes, I know that you've come into the pits, but you still need to take care considering you are a lap down.
Yeah, that's definitely something that Spidey can report if he feels that Price was going for something there he shouldn't have. And looking at Spidey, I've just had a thought. This is the last season we're going to see of the 488 GT3 cars, and I'm assuming the next sprint season will be run under the 296. Yes, the confirmation there, yes.
Yes.
I assume correctly. But, I mean, I've got to say, what a car to replace it with. That thing is a masterpiece.
Certainly it is. One that I'm looking forward to.
Saw quite a few comments in the Discord a while ago about people complaining about how ugly it is, and I was almost offended. Not even my car.
Yeah.
It's such a good-looking car. I just don't get it. I don't understand why people don't like it. Ooh, bloody
Because people are afraid of change.
Yes, people are afraid of change. We can't also forget, Sean Muller just looking around the outside. Malik, but just couldn't get that position back. There we go. Oh, yep. Bentley, Ferrari, Lamborghini, and Nissan. Of course, that's a good reminder. Yeah, where's the Jaguar? Yeah, that's a good reminder. Of course, the other cars that we'll be saying goodbye to the end of this season are the current Lamborghini GT3 and the Porsche 911 GT3, as the new versions of them will be coming into the game in the update on April the 19th. Can't wait to jump in those. What cars would we think for next season? Because we don't know BOP, we don't know anything.
Yeah, I mean, the BOP is obviously going to play a role. Sean Miller blinks, jumps into the pit lane.
So the Jaguar is in the retirement home with the Aston Martin Bulldog.
Hobbsy, you weren't here when the Bulldog discussion was happening.
Yes.
I don't know if you heard it, but if you want to do yourself a favor, just Google Aston Martin Bulldog. and you'll understand. It's a car. That's about as much as I'm willing to say about it.
Oh dear. Oh dear. That is not sure how I feel about that. I've always been a fan of Aston Martin. I think I've just lost a touch of respect for them there.
Yeah, I mean, it's not their best effort.
No,
we can
it's
all
certainly
admit
not
that.
the best effort. But what is a great effort so far is Kugali still heading it out in P1 at the... Oh, jeez, don't show me that. That's... Oh.
And demonetized.
I think my day's just been ruined by knowing that car exists. Is Kugali going to come into the pits? He does. Oh, he's going to come in behind another Aston Martin. Just pulls it up in time. Oh, what was that car doing? That's okay. So let's see what the strategy is from Kugali. 30 minutes left in the race. That should give him about 70 litres of fuel, if that. Maybe 60 litres.
30 minutes. Yeah, should be
So about a
60.
20-second pit stop or so will really help him there. So
If he doesn't change the tires, that's the
that's it. Yes, that's correct. If he doesn't change the tyres, so keep an eye on that. Malik also comes into the pits, so we get a lovely shot of the pitch straight here at Donington. Now this is probably a.
Here goes Malik.
Oh, Malik's
Goes
gone
Malik.
already.
Stop.
Ooh, that's an interesting strategy from Malik there. Maybe he chucked in almost a full tank and has decided to pit early and get back in front. So that might put him back in contention for the lead there, because that's going to bring him right behind possibly Chris Taylor, but more importantly in front of Kugali for the moment.
And significantly in front of Kugali as well. Kugali is quite a few seconds behind him there, so he will need to get a move on and close that gap down to Malik.
Here's another spicy livery. Is that a sloth on the side? Is that what that is?
It is a sloth.
Right. Is
It's
there
a
some sort
Scani
of-
livery. That's all you need
Oh
to
wow,
know.
that's all I need to know, isn't it? Yeah.
But it is. I mean, if you take the slough away, the design of the
Yeah,
livery is actually
yeah.
quite striking.
It is quite nice, actually. I will give him, that. Oh,
I mean,
wow.
the scratches.
Yeah, the
aren't
scratches
ideal,
don't do it well.
But
Yeah.
it doesn't come off of the showroom of those, I don't think.
Is that a sloth driving? Is that what the meme is here? Yes.
I would
Yeah, I
assume
thought it may have
Fine.
been.
Yeah, so
No, he looks
that
happy at
slough
least.
on a bus.
Yeah.
A bus.
It's like a
even
bus
better.
seat. I don't know.
Yeah, I can sort of see that.
But how good does the Lexus sound, though? That is the bit that I'm
well.
taking away from this.
Mustang GT3 better.
Oh,
Yeah.
if anyone's seen that?
Yeah,
Wow.
it's
Oh.
incredible.
Oh,
I've only just calmed down, and now you brought it up again. So
Yeah, I know. But the question is, will any of the new 3 cars coming into the game overtake the Lexus for the best sound? If the Ferrari sounds like it does in the video, that might be something to withhold.
I don't think the Porsche will. I know the Porsche lovers will obviously disagree with this because the car can apparently
absolutely.
do no wrong. But I don't know. The Porsche has never really struck me as the best sounding car. I mean, the Lambo sounds quite fantastic with that
Yes,
V10.
I was going to
Yes.
say.
But I don't know. The Lexus just has that. It's sort of reminiscent. It's not as good sounding as the Mustang, but it's that sort of growl, like angry kind of growl that it makes, which
yeah,
just excites me.
has that real aggression to it.
6 car named after cats.
The Dodge Hellcat.
Good one.
Yes. Okay.
Yep, that's one.
Now I'm not great at math, but that leaves 5, I think.
Yeah, I
Yes.
think it does.
Oh yeah, every single Jaguar.
Yes, every single Jaguar. Yep.
The Aura Good Cat, that's one. Or the Aura Funky Cat in the EU region, I guess.
Ah, Ford Puma.
That is
Yes.
certainly one. Cougar, the Ford Cougar.
Yes, Ford
Also
Cougar.
Yes.
Yep.
Ferrari Scout is banned. That is
I think the Ferrari's more of a bulldog than a
It is
no.
making me question the educational system in Australia. That is a horse, Scott. It's a horse.
Yeah.
But just to get back to the race for just a second, he is, what is that, about 5.5 seconds behind Malik?
Oh,
Yeah.
Whoa,
Oh,
big.
dead.
Oh!
Yeah.
It's got it
The
really
Opal
unlucky there.
Ocelot. Huh?
huh.
Is that actually a real car? I know of Opal, just I've never heard of the Ocelot.
Well, that's interesting.
I think like Ocelot is spelled incorrectly there.
It is, but
G-O-C-E.
we'll just gloss over
Ignore
that.
that.
So
But
what's
I
that?
like
4 or
pointing it
5?
out. I think we're on 5 now, so we need one more.
So we just need one more.
Isn't there a Ford Lynx? I think there's a Ford Lynx, isn't there? Somewhere.
Oh, possibly a Ford Lynx.
I don't know. Chevrolet Jeep.
I don't think so.
I don't know. The Peugeot main coupe. Is that a car?
The Peugeot logo. Does that count?
The Isuzu Panther.
Oh, yes, that's a good shout.
Okay. Hellcat was mentioned already, so that was numero uno. Scani dives into the pits, Ben Dyke dives into the pits. Well, at least there's more cars named after cats than there is dogs, I think so. Which is how we got onto the
No, no,
discussion about Aston Martin Bulldog.
Haven't you heard of the Lamborghini Schnauzer, mate? Haven't you heard of it?
Sorry, I'm more of a McLaren Rottweiler fan.
Ah, right.
I'm just gonna stick to my Bulldog.
What on
Well-
earth?
That's a Shelby. Is that a Shelby kind of thing?
Oh, that's generally a Chevrolet Cheetah. Oh.
Oh,
Okay.
That's
mistakes were made.
Where's the
Mistakes
rest of it?
Did you see how
They didn't finish
how
it.
small the doors were? What was that?
It looks like it's a very like condensed Shelby.
That
pretty
yeah.
much.
It's like you've
It's-
rear-ended a Shelby, and that's what you've got.
It's when you ask somebody to draw a Shelby from memory. That's
Yes,
what they
that's
draw.
what you get. Yes. Ooh, Kigali's really on it now. 26.8. Wow, that's
Well-
really
Fast up
amping it up.
Well, look at how close he is now to Radden Malik.
Yep, he's taken freaking hell 5
And
seconds out of
you,
Malik.
yeah, I was
basically
gonna say
in laps.
you almost cursed him because Malik almost just went off the track.
Malik is really struggling at the moment. Cugley's gained so much time.
I reckon Cugley's put on fresh set of tyres.
I think that's the problem with that. Stopping so early without changing the tires. Those tires just don't work as well in the seconds that you need to extend all the way towards the end.
I don't think it really matters when you're going to stop. The tyres are still going to die on you at some point anyway.
Yeah, especially around here with so many extended corners.
So currently, these are the lead drivers who have pitted. When will the rest of the top sort of 5 jump into the pit lane there? Interesting to see where things play out. Will Taylor be able to extend that gap on his current set of tires over Malik? Or will he be able to come out in the lead? Pete Viney is the first one from their top 5 there to dive into the pit lane.
Yeah, it looks like Kugali there's just trying to stick the nose in Malik, say, yo, I'm here. You better watch out, pal, because I want to come past. But Malik's not going to give in, and Kugali's not going to like that because he doesn't want to give up time to potentially having that lead back.
Do you really think Cugley's just gonna like say out loud, yo, I'm here?
No, he might. Don't you say things randomly when you're driving?
I'm not gonna say no.
Yes, exactly.
Unfortunately, most of the things I say when I'm driving are not allowed to be said on this street.
Yes, we can't say those.
Oh, that's close.
Oh, and I think Kugali might be saying a couple of those words there after that one. That was really close indeed. Oh, look at the fire spitting out of Aston. That's mean looking. Let's see what.
Even the Aston is pissed about that.
Yeah, even the Aston's really upset. But
Yeah.
let's see.
I
Oh, that's not
reckon a few expletives.
Gosh, Darn it, that was
Yes,
upsetting.
all of them.
Yeah,
Yes, all
yeah.
of those ones.
Absolute.
Kugar's going to look to the outside.
Oh, he's gonna have
He's
a go.
going to dive.
No.
No. That's a wise decision there from Kugali just to try and keep him in the running with 22.5 minutes left in this race. Let's see what can be done. Kugali might look for the switch back here as Malik goes deep, but Kugali's going to have to pull this up. Maybe look to the outside even of the final corner, but Malik gets the better run there. Oh, but Kugali really... Well, that's a... Not sure what's happened there. Just maybe missed the breaking point.
All this is doing though is this is helping out Taylor and McClaw's, well, more so Taylor massively here. Taylor comes in late, only does comes in a few leaders, and he could very well come out ahead of both Malik and Cugley.
Yeah, it would be interesting to see the lap times at the moment, what Taylor is doing and what Malik is doing, because I suspect Kugli is losing a bucket load of time being stuck behind Malik here. So, as you said, really playing into the hands of Taylor at the moment.
I mean, credit to Malik keeping the car on fresher tyres with similar-ish fuel loads on. Really well done, because those tyres will be screaming in the next 10 minutes.
Yeah, certainly placing the car well and hitting the brake markers where he needs to. Kugli not really putting that much pressure on it. We see Taylor there is 0.6 seconds a lap faster at the moment, so the gap is extending and extending, and he is staying out for another lap. I suspect we will only see him pit towards maybe about 5 minutes remaining in the race, very close to the end.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see how this plays out. Oof, you see
Wow.
how much better drive and grip that Aston has at the moment, but Malik placing the car where it needs to be.
And, oh, I thought there might have been a bit of a move there from Kugali to try and get past Malik, but the question is for Taylor, is the time that he's getting ahead of Malik and Kugali going to be enough to maybe, if his tyres are screaming, warrant a tyre change? I don't think so. There we go. So Taylor to 28.567 and Kugali, oh, a 28 flat. That's really good for the OCD. So they're still managing to keep up with Taylor, go faster, even though he's behind Malik, and Malik will probably be doing something of similar pace to try and keep up, but those worn tyres really are not going to be helping him for the next 20 minutes.
Yeah, Malik's just been trying to make that BMW as wide as possible, and so far it's worked out, but I reckon Taylor's tyres are just starting to go off a bit as well, starting to lose a bit of time in comparison to Cugley, who is, as you said, behind Malik. We might see Taylor come in soon, just try and consolidate position, but I think for now he's just got to get on with it.
I think the problem for Taylor is he has no idea what's happening with these guys. He doesn't necessarily know that they're battling or that Kugli is losing pace unless he has somebody in his ear that is so close.
Wow, that's really close.
Telling him what's happening. Name this car.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh my god.
No, I don't think it's called Jesus. That's different.
No, it's definitely not. I saw something like the Demarion or the Demaxerin or something silly, but that's ridiculous.
Yeah, that is just stupid. But Cugley's going to have a go up the inside. No, we cannot.
But we'll have a better drive out of turn one, but Malik keeps it in the range of the track with those worn tyres. Hooley saying that that's my mobile. I don't think it is.
I mean, it looks like something you could have made.
Oh, I've made, absolutely. I'm terrible when it comes to creativity and drawing, so I definitely
It
could have
looked
made
like
that.
something I made this afternoon when I went to the toilet.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
No, we went over this. It's not Jesus Christ.
Yes.
We've already established that it's not that. Although it wasn't quite that big or green. But anyway, the racing continues. Let's see, Kugli
It's
is
like-
not able to find a way past. Sorry?
Yeah, no, it's like they looked at a pickle jar and went, I want to make that into a car. That's what I'm going to do.
No, it is the Demaxion car.
Demaxion, what kind of a... Whoa, hold on.
Jeez,
Wow, that's
that's
really
interesting.
deep. Kagali's getting really impatient now. That's...
The Hindenburg
I
GT3.
think that's kind of warranted. That's Malik's new wheels. That's what that car is.
But Cuggly has so much pace right now, but just isn't able to execute any of it.
Here we go. Now he's going to look to dive inside. He's got to go for something here, or else it might be game over for P1. Does manage to pull it up on Malik and get it through just, though. Only just.
Kranich
So we
is
see,
slow.
ooh, Kranich slow, maybe a bit of an off track there for him.
Cuggly's got it, so he's now ahead of Malik, which means it is now or never for Cuggly. Will Taylor come in knowing that Cuggly is now ahead of Malik?
It's
Where
game
is
on
Taylor?
now.
Taylor coming into the Melbourne hairpin at the moment. So how far up track is that? Maybe 30, 40 seconds?
So I'd say it's about 31 seconds or so. So Taylor cannot pit 4 tyres, or else that is P1 out the window. Let's see. Is he going to pit this up? No, he's going to keep going. I think he might have stuck it with as much of a full tank as he can get. He might only have to put in 20 litres or something, which will only set him back 6 seconds or something like that. So maybe that was the optimum strategy. We will soon find out.
He may also be running with full fuel and just need a litre or a couple of litres.
Well, if he only needs a litre, then what? 3.5 seconds in the box. Well, gap between Taylor and Cuggly is 59 seconds.
59 seconds. Wow. So he could actually pit for a fresh set and probably still get away with it.
Wow.
Whether he knows that.
Is it that much?
Yeah, that seems quite excessive.
According
Okay.
to
No,
Diabol's, Spidey's got 18 litres left. Something tells me 18 litres isn't enough.
No.
Oh, if you're able to get 1 litre.
I was going to say
Minimum,
Pipo.
that makes more
Well, it's
sense,
a bit
okay.
better. That's, yeah, so he can't get a tyre stop away there, so he's going to have to only go for fuel. But I would say that he still will get away with that, or it will be close. It's a question of whether Kugali's on the fresh set or not. I reckon he might be.
So the
That
question
pace,
is...
Yes, 50, yes.
Yeah.
That's how long it took them to design it.
Yes.
59 seconds.
You have to wonder if Taylor...
Oh, he's in. Taylor's in.
Ooh, here we go. Game on now. Keep an eye on the screens, people. Camera 2 there. Chris Taylor coming into the pits. Let's see. Because, I mean, he could put...
He's gonna get him again.
Yeah, I think he's going to get him. He could put tyres on, but I don't think it's going to be worth it. Let's see what he does, whether Taylor knows. Wait for that. Okay, he's dropped. Here we go. He's going to come. So this is going to be close, depending on how far down the pits Chris Taylor is.
He'll come out ahead.
Going to come out ahead, but only just. Maybe not. No, I think Kugali's going to get him.
Where is he? Where
And
is
he
he?
does,
there he goes.
yeah.
Kugali has done it. Very well played.
It's very well played indeed. So Kugali now can just bring it home to the end as long as no mistakes are made. Don't have too much rest though. I think that was even Chris Taylor getting stuck behind Malik, so that's really hurt him a little bit there. Coming out into P3. Malik will be fairly happy with that considering the little bit of moments he's had throughout the race, jumping off the track and everything like that. Still happy to be on the podium, would be my guess, after all this.
Looks like he was there for about 6-7 seconds, so yeah, about 20 litres of fuel I reckon went into the car.
I would say the big winner out of all of this seems to be Malik. He came from a little bit further behind and played the strategy fairly well here.
Yeah, it's really well played from Floody Malik. Just doing a nice job here. Justin McLean at the moment in the midst of a battle with current and leading driver at the moment, Stimson, in the 277 Mercedes. Currently McLean still has 25 seconds of penalties. I believe this is Kidman as well, just fighting in the back. Stimson's doing a really good job to hold these Pro-Am drivers off. I smell a Pro-Am promotion coming in for the next season of Sprint Series.
Stimson's been solid throughout the whole season and carrying that over into the Pro-Am finals here, joining as a wild card and beating a significant number of these Pro-Am drivers. And not by luck, but just by pure pace. See McLean here has 25 seconds of penalty, so he's been a naughty boy. Definitely be put into the naughty corner when he comes back to the Kovacs Discord after this race.
You heard it here first, live from the newsroom.
large amounts of abuse hurled at McLean. He gets ushered into the 90-degree corner.
Does. Kidman's just trying to stick a little bit of pressure on, and maybe McLean's fallen for it, but manages to keep it back round on the exit. Aston's pretty, what's the word, rubbish on the exits with the very awful turbo lag, but still keeps it under control. So it's a good thing for Stimson. Stimson will be able to pull away from this, already 1.1 seconds ahead as McLean makes a mistake. So Kidman's going to sneak his way through in the Audi, and I think he's going to pull it up. He does. Really good effort there, but McLean's not giving in. They're going to go too wide up the hill, but Kidman does the right thing. As McLean may just go wide. Oh no! Oh no!
Oh, that is...
Oh, that's a lot of damage. That's...
Donaldi is very, very lucky that he avoided that.
Yeah, that's... Oh, I don't think I've got any words for that.
Yeah, I'm starting to feel like we can't put Jesse in the corner because he'll just cause an incident there.
Cool.
So I just need to put him in a box for now.
Well, I mean, John has already said that abuse is being thrown already.
I'm certain that it has escalated ever so slightly in the last 20 seconds.
Yes.
Quite possibly. Oh, this is good effort though from McKellar. Sat up in P10 in the 111 Lamborghini with the Optimus Prime livery. He's fighting with Pete Viney at the moment. No one on the back, so he can really put all the pressure in the world. Look at the livery on that M4 though. That's lovely. Oh, that's right. That's the tactic livery, isn't it?
It's actually a livery that I requested him to make for myself, and then I changed cars at the last minute, so then he started using it for himself.
Well, that's a bit rude, isn't it?
Yeah, I did feel very, very shitty about it, but it is a nice livery, and he's been driving it for a whole season as we get a replay.
Oh no, let's have a look at this sadness again. So this is from the rear view, front view, I should say, Donaldi. No. Oh no, and that's game over. Donaldi, wow.
Oh. Wait, watch Kidman here.
Oh. Even had to touch the brakes so he didn't spin on the grass. That's a real solid effort from Donaldi there. Let's have a look. Just saw it coming, move left. Kept it just off the track there. Well done. And bang.
But may have taken a bite out of his seat there because that was way too close for comfort there.
I really hope for Kidman's sake that he's not in a motion rig.
If he was, he's not in it anymore. He's
no, he's through the window, I think.
Just landed in the living room. Hey, honey. Sorry, had a bit of an accident. But
a bit, yeah, right.
Just a bit.
As we see, just under 10 minutes left. Simon Scanlon still hasn't pit. So looks forward to seeing what his strategy is going to be. I suspect he'll have to pit soon because that Ferrari probably can't go much longer with the fuel load that he has. See Shamrock Claus at the moment for Alliance Motorsport. Currently set in P6. Kagali's got a decent 3.2 second gap to Malik, and then Malik's got another 4-second gap to Taylor, and Taylor's got a back told. So fair chunk of gaps now up the front three, provisional front three. We'll see the proper front three once Scanlon jumps into the pits. McCullough's still trying to put all the pressure in the world on Pete Viney. Got a decent gap to the car in front, so Viney can afford to do a bit of defending as he touches the grass and maybe even goes a little wide over the top of the hill here as they're going to come back down towards the chicane. A bit wide there. They've got an Audi on the back. Who's... Oh. Well, it's not on the back anymore, is it?
That is Williamson. So that is a lap down.
just a cruise. No drive-through so far for track
Oh,
limits.
now you've jinxed it. That's game over now. Someone's going to get a drive-through.
So my question is, what have we learned from the strategy? I'm still... So
we have learned that there is no strategy.
Yeah, yes.
If you're at the front and you do that, that does not count race control. I will not be having that. If you're at the front and you can build that gap on the lower fuel, it does work. But Malik has also shown that, that you can't park there, mate. Bryce has had a big old moment at the old hairpin there.
Return to pit, so that is his race done.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, out front, Spidey, who is yet to pit, is now holding Kigali behind.
I can imagine the words that Kigali's saying, but I can't repeat them right now. But I assume Spidey will look at potentially pitting in the next lap or so in his bright green and checkerboard style Ferrari. let's see what he does coming.
Who is the
into
photo on the
final
side
corner.
of his TV?
That
I
is
have no idea.
Bert. It is Bert from the BP Ultimate ads that play on.
Oh, that is
Supercars.
Bert. Oh, that's hilarious.
Ah, okay. That's
It is why
Australian.
his car is called Spidey Bert.
Well, it could have been Bert Newton for all we knew.
But Cugley will have a go up the inside. No, he cannot. But yeah,
No.
even with Cugley's tyre advantage, he's only gained 4 seconds on Malik.
Let's have a look at this. Oh, no.
Oh no! Oh
Uh-oh,
no!
this is...
Uh,
Close your
Paul,
eyes. Oh!
That got a bit of
dear.
airtime.
He's not going to be in rush hour 3.
No, that is... Yes, no, that's a lot of damage there. That's an indescribable amount of damage. All the rear end just getting a little bit squirrely there on the Ferrari. So I think Spidey will look to only take on maybe 3 or 4 litres of fuel coming into the pits soon. Have to be in the next couple of laps because he can't go much further, I wouldn't
He
think.
has 7 liters of fuel remaining at the moment, so he has enough fuel for 2 more laps after this lap, I would say.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
he'll
I don't
probably need
fuel.
another 6 liters or so.
Yeah, which is, what's that, 5-6 seconds if that.
No, I'd say that's probably about 4 and a bit seconds.
Yeah, so that might bring him up the order a little bit, keep him in the top 10 where he would like to be after those few little incidents throughout the race he's having. McKellar's still on the back of Viney at the moment, and they've still got Williamson just in the back there in his Audi. Oh, that's yeah.
Bit
You want to get
drifter.
back on track? Yep, you might want to try and get back on because there's Porsche just trying to come through, and there is Scarney, the one who he will be fighting. I wouldn't probably be on the grass much longer there. Keeps it back on. Scarney's going to be going. Oh yes, a top 10 finish for me.
That is
Get
the
past
Unoptimus Prime.
Boo.
Thank you,
But-
thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's,
boo. Yeah.
Boo indeed. It looked like Viney went a little bit deep and McKellar just had to check up and lost it a little bit coming out of Coppers there. But yeah, Scarney is definitely going to get the bit between his teeth here and try and chase down that Lambo that is going to be running on tires that won't be particularly happy with what just occurred. So let's see if the Lexus Sloth here can get something done.
Started 34th, did Chris Withers, now 21st. I don't know whether the leaderboard's lying to us and saying that he's actually 21st as he spins.
Ah, thank you,
race
race control.
Even race control can...
Side by the leaders here as well. And
Yep,
he is through.
Even race control can curse drivers. That's quite hilarious. John Rad's got a 10-second penalty for causing a collision on lap 37. Surely Spidey's got to look at pitting soon. Maybe he's even going to pit on the last or second to last lap here. That's Kagaliatsu, that's Malik in the background as well.
Spidey
Chris Taylor's not too far
have
behind.
to pit this lap. He does not have enough fuel
Ah,
for another
okay.
lap.
Oh, there we go. Insider information there from his stream. Chris Taylor at the moment sitting provisionally P3. We're just going to wait for Spidey to pit for that to become a reality. As we see Ashley Johnston here fighting with Shane McClaws at the moment for P6. Looking for some good points after race 1.
Just one interesting thing that I've just noticed is the amount of different manufacturers in that top 10.
Yes, I know
Quite a
there's
few.
quite a range. There's been actually quite a range of manufacturers over this season of OR Sprint Series. Of course, you got that one free change of car if you wish. Next season, maybe not so much. You'll probably see a lot of Lamborghinis, Porsches, and Ferraris, but who knows? Maybe everyone will just decide that they don't want to gamble on those and pick all the current cars like the Aston and the Audi. Who knows?
I mean, I definitely don't have much interest in driving the Porsche.
Oh, but why not?
Because it's a Porsche.
Porsche.
Yes, but the new 992, 911 GT3 Porsches had a suspension rework in real life anyway.
Don't
Yes,
care, it's still a Porsche.
Oh,
Aston Martin
here we
made
go.
the Bulldog, and therefore I want to drive the Aston Martin.
right.
Because they have proven to be exceptional designers of concepts.
That's not quite
Yeah.
right as we look at Spidey, who's pit that lovely livery with old mate Bert on there. Let's see how long that pit stop will be. It'll be about 5 seconds. Yep, and he's off again.
Yep, so he's been in there for about, what, 4 or 5 seconds? He's come out round Muller. There he is, just up ahead.
P7 for Spidey now. That's a very decent outcome for him after all the chaos that he has endured at this circuit this evening.
Apparently he confused himself with how fast it was.
I can fully comprehend that, because the first time I did a pit stop where I wasn't changing tires, I went up on the jacks and like sat back to relax for the 30-second pit stop, and then my car dropped all of a sudden. I was like, oh shit, no, it's 3 seconds, so
Yeah.
you're not used to it.
Yeah.
It's quite a simple thing
definitely
to
a culture shock.
Tried to take a drink, yep.
It's
No
actually
time
worked
for
out
drink.
fairly well for
No.
him. You will not have to drink.
You'll not have to drink.
But he was running P12 or so before the sort of pit stops really started playing out after a couple of incidents. So that's a good return for him, given everything that's transpired so far today. But
Yeah. I reckon if, you are in that midfield battle, then a strategy like that probably isn't a bad call.
Yeah,
I
definitely
think looking
played
at
well.
the field we're dealing with tomorrow in Pro Finals, I think that seems like a safe bet for most of us that's not called Bakita and Burs. Filler, very, very close to the back of the tactic BMW there.
Does need to beware though, because Scani is there to capitalise on any mistake. But we are approaching the end of this race now.
I have one more lap after this, it's gonna be close.
I think Ugly should cross the line before the timer crosses over.
Yeah, I think so. Let's just hope for any drivers that they do have enough fuel. As Jake McKellar looks to the outside of Pete Viney once again, even though after that spin it's a really good recovery from him to get back up on him. As Eric Scarney's even looking in on this battle. He may just sit here and wait for a bit more of a battle here from McKellar and Viney and try and take advantage of that, but he's only got just under 2 laps left now to do so. As we see Kugali's going to come around the final corner with about 15 seconds left coming to the line, so we'll be coming on to the last lap now for him. As we see Scarney still stuck there a little bit. Oh, hits the curb a little bit too much and touches a bit of the dirt, so a little bit of control, but keeping it within the limits, which is good to see.
Oh, McKellar's got a lot of pace now. He's going to have a go at Viney, but you're going to be hard tasked getting it done around the outside of the chicane. Yeah, it does back out of it. Just got to get a good clean run.
Yeah, he was looking for
Very
that
close
run.
to a warning for Viney there.
Yeah, he was looking for that little bit of a switchback sort of run there, and he might even look for it again. He's got Scarney right on him now, so he's got to go between that nice medium of attack and defence. Might even look later on the brakes here on Viney. Viney's going to get the better exit though on that Lambo, but does look for the switchback, almost gives him a tap and has to back out of it. That's really not ideal for him as Kigali comes through the final chicane, coming down to Melbourne hairpin to take the win for race 1 and round 1 here of the Pro-Am finals. It's also taken the fastest lap 26.8 as he comes to the final corner now. Here he is, Lewis Kigali. He's going to take the win here. Round 1 here at Donington, 70-minute race. Round 1 of the Pro-Am finals, almost loses it on the end of the circuit.
Great performance from him there. He was fast the whole day. Got the strategy right. Got lucky to get up the front and built that.
Oh, there's big contact.
Bechtold. That is Bechtold and Taylor. Bechtold will take the position, but I suspect there may be some reviews going in there.
Yeah, there's going to be some reviews in there. Oh, Johnson's right on the back of McClaw's coming around the final corner, but it's not going to quite get him in time. Might have finished there. Here's McKellar still trying to get past Viney, but Scarney's there as well. Stimson's even going to get on this battle, maybe the final couple of corners. If I could do something, McKellar's going to look to the inside. Scarney's almost hit McKellar. Stimson might even look on Scarney on the final corner if he can get the right braking point here. Let's see what McKellar can do. Make sure Viney doesn't break late, and he did.
Oh, Viney's broke very late.
So McKellar's going to get him through. Wow, that was. Oh, even Stimson might. He just can't quite get it done. Wow.
Oh,
What
how
a finish
to bin
there.
a top 10 in the final
Finale
corner there,
P13.
my
Wow.
And Jesse McLean, he does not want this race to finish because he will be getting, let's say, a fair amount of abuse given his race that he's had.
Ooh, that's
He's already copped a lot of abuse.
That's a tasty looking sidecar there. He's not going to lose any positions though with the 25-second penalty. Ooh, all right.
There we go.
Straight to the dark.
As we will get a final view of the results here, we have Lewis Kugeli taking the fastest lap and the win for round 1 of the Pro-Am finals. Vladdy Malik taking P2, Stefan Bechtold provisionally in P3, pending some reviews for a last lap incident. Chris Taylor, Shane McLaws, Ashley Johnston, Simon Scanlon, Sean Miller, Jake McKellar and Eric Scarney is your top 10 for this round 1. So I guess the only question remaining is driver of the day.
I think you got to get it to Cugley. He worked his strategy to absolute perfection, just had superior pace throughout, really worked his race efficiently, and ultimately came out on top after starting, what was it? I think it was somewhere in the top 5, but he, ultimately had a very good race and was rather dominant once he got past the rest of the drivers. But let's take a
Here we go.
see what happened on the final corner. So it's Taylor ahead, Bechtold trying to get around the outside, and now he's going to have a go up the inside, and now I think this is where the contact is going to happen. Oh. Yeah,
that's...
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't personally believe that Bechtold's going to hold on to that one. Just didn't quite have the breaking point that he should have there. Was way... Yeah, that's a tough one, but stewards will look into that.
It just depends on where they think Taylor could have left more room, because it looked like Bechtold would have made the corner, but it's just a matter of how they adjudicate all that.
Yeah, luckily it's not a decision for us to make.
No, we just say who we think our driver of the day is, and I'm going to give it to Spidey. After a bit of a mess start, he brought it back with a great strategy.
Yeah, certainly a good result for him at the end of the day there. Well, seeing as you guys have chosen those, I'm going to give it to Malik, just purely based on having a bit of a rough opening stint and then sort of fixing it with a good strategy call, doing that early little pit stop there and getting the P2 after he was running near the rear end of the top 10 a little bit earlier there, as we get a replay here of Pete Viney showing us how to bin a top 10 in a Pro-Am finals event by just going slightly deep in the final corner.
That's what it does, unfortunately. Almost even lost P11 there, but just held it off from Stimson on the final corner there.
But that is it for today. That is the first round of Season 12 finals in the Pro-Am class done. Tomorrow night we are back for the pros. Should be some fantastic racing. Hopefully we get some mixed conditions or something to spice things up as well. But we will be seeing the fastest drivers in Octane Online Racing Sprint Series battling it out for that sprint final sort of win. And thank you for joining me in the box tonight, Mr. Mitch Hobbs and Mrs. Alexis Bowen. It's been a pleasure. I've enjoyed the call with both of you.
Yeah, it's been a great night. I've really enjoyed getting to watch some fantastic racing around Donington Park. I reckon, yeah, the way the strategies have worked tonight has given a few ideas to the pros tomorrow night, but it's going to be interesting to see how they go.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you very much, chat. And Arthur Pendragon, there are 3 rounds. This week is Donington, next week is Hungary, and the final round will be at Barcelona. And with that being said, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe, and tune in tomorrow when we do it all over again. Thank you everybody for watching. Have a good night.